Oh, baby. You guys ready, chat? You guys ready to see this man? This proto man? Chat, you're not ready. You're not ready.
Are they?
I don't know, man. Okay, here we go. Battlefield
Chicken beef or
show.
lamb?
Season finale! Okay, here we go. On a 3, on a 2, on a 1. My God in heaven. Welcome everybody to episode number 11 of
Someone predicted this.
Of the Battlefield
Someone
show.
predicted this.
Someone predicted this. Welcome everybody.
Damn it, Chicken! I knew he did it. I knew he'd. I knew he.
I
knew he would predict this.
I am joined here with the man of many I don't know, names, clan tags. I can barely remember your name sometimes. Mr. ProtoApex, Synthic dude, competitive player, weeb extraordinaire. How you doing, dude? Welcome to the show.
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I think everyone is dying to know what you look like. Is this what you look like for real, or is this a cosplay? What's going on here? What?
You know, contrary to popular belief, never actually cosplayed before.
Really? Okay.
No. If anything, it was actually going to be something from Rainbow Six Siege, especially Legion, because Legion is a Hong Kong operator, and
yes.
I love the way he looks. It's just cargo shorts and tennis shoes. So, shall I get to it then?
Yeah, let's see it. The face reveal.
All right,
live.
Let me kill
nothing
this.
breaks. Here he comes. Oh my God! Hey,
boys!
Whoa! Did it match the voice? Chat? I didn't. I knew exactly what he looked like. Look at this. Look at his room, dude. God damn.
It's my little slice of home.
And your room, confirmed, always looks like this. At this moment,
yeah.
Or did you?
I had to clean it up a little bit because down here is some TOS breaking stuff. Down there is some TOS breaking stuff. Up there is maybe some TOS breaking stuff. But
you gotta move some posters or weed posters.
No, it's not the posters. Not the posters. That's probably the lootest it can get. But like this,
I can't even see it.
Up here.
Can't even see it. It's good. No. Easy.
But other than that, it's my little slice of me, so to speak.
Is that body pillow?
Actually, that's not. Should I? These aren't body pillows.
No, don't show them.
No, I don't. I got conned at Anime Expo into buying a pillow case, but I haven't followed through with the pillow. Hell no.
How many cons have you been to, or what's your favorite?
You know, I'm actually a pretty late bloomer to that. I only started in June 2014. So it's been about 4 or 5 years. I have friends who've been there for decades.
Do you want to go to one coming up?
See, the thing is,
spark your interest?
I mean, I'm going again to Japan in December.
Hey,
so
right.
We'll go to see Winter Comic-Con, and then we'll probably do some. My friends haven't been there before, so I have to kind of play tour guide again. So Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka. Once they leave, I'll try going to Hiroshima and Fukuoka toward the west, where all the good ramen is. Because there's a few like what they call Hakata ramen down here in California. They're inspired from the Fukuoka region in Japan.
How do you spell that?
Fukuoka or Hakata?
Hakata.
Hakata.
Okay, I'll look and see if it's in my area because I'm always in mood for.
Look, Alvin, I have the body pillow, but that is loot. It's against TOS.
No,
you don't want to do this, Alvin.
Stop. Okay. So keep going with the ramen and where are you gonna visit there in Japan?
Just general attractions. I've bought all the merch I needed to, so it's probably going to be toward more, I guess we call them normie style. But mostly car shows. I'm super into cars. Definitely the JDM scene. In fact, there's a lot of stuff that you can do in Japan, but you need that international license.
Okay.
So I just go over to AAA, go grab an international license for $28 with your photo. And then, you can drive go-karts on the street in Tokyo for 3 hours.
What? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you could do that over here in San Francisco as well, but they're
Yeah,
all
but
like,
we're going over like the Rainbow Bridge and everything. You know what I'm saying? But there's that.
yeah.
But yeah, it's mostly food and culture this time. If there's merch, I'll probably buy it. But it's a lot more toned down than my last three romps.
You say you're going with friends, or are you gonna go there by yourself and meet up with friends
Going with
and
friends,
family?
but it's my fourth time, and I'm playing tour guide.
Oh, nice. So you're gonna hit up Kyoto first, you said?
Tokyo, then Kyoto,
Tokyo. Okay,
then
Tokyo first.
Osaka, and then most of my friends will go back to Tokyo for the rest of the time. I'm deciding whether or not I want to stay down in Osaka because I prefer the western regions over standard Tokyo. It's kind of a little bit more laid back.
I'm trying to
But
pick your brain on Japan because I definitely want to go visit sometime in the next 2 years,
you have
and
not understood. I've been
I
playing
really
tour
want
guide
to
for
go.
so many different people. It is ridiculous. For example, Synthic Stigma. He approached me.
Okay.
He approached me 6 months ago because he was about to go to Japan with his wife, and he picked my brain about where to go. And I gave him some
Yeah,
places.
yeah.
You know, you're gonna go here for Wagyu. You're gonna go here for for beer, anything like that. They had a good time from what I saw. So
Oh,
yeah.
good. But definitely, I mean, just as a starting point, definitely go to Tokyo first, or try the smaller.
Tokyo's where everything's at. It's centralized, right? So,
Okay.
most of the food you can get, it's imported over to Tokyo. You don't have to necessarily go to Kyoto. Kyoto is very, very laid back, very, very traditional. So the
Mm-hmm.
hot spring is the only thing you're really missing if they're in, the 1,000
Hot
temples if you really want to go to.
Ooh,
Hot springs are amazing.
really? Okay.
Yeah, they definitely are.
Are they
Highly recommend
usually
it.
are they usually like high up, or is it just right there in the city?
You have your choice. You have the ryokan, the inns, or the artificial ones. I went to both. The artificial ones are more than enough. You have to
Uh,
kind of get past the feeling of everyone's kind of naked. But after that, you just plop in and you just sit there. You sit there relaxing.
yeah, hell yeah. Okay, well, thank you for coming along to the show. This is the
No
Battlefield
problem.
show, not the freaking
Let's
Japan
turn
show.
it toward more relevant topics.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so I want to start from the beginning with you, ProtoApex. I do not know you very well when it comes to the competitive scene back in the day. I just want to know where this all started. Where was your passion joining up with Synthic and
See,
just doing competitive things? Is that what you always wanted to do?
this kind of goes all the way back to BF3, actually. I played a lot of BF3, but I played it on console.
Ooh,
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I didn't realize how good PC was until I left it and came back. But I went from a
it's
Xbox
common.
clan called It's Just a Game IJAG to a squad called Gurk Squad. They did 5v5s. I was assigned to fill in a few matches. Kind of bit the
Uh-huh.
bug. We never really played 12v12s though. So it wasn't until BF4. And here's the funny thing, right? I met Incarnate through Xbox years before we ever went on PC. I even met Milos the Medic on
Really?
Xbox too. Years
Oh,
before he ever became a caster on Level BF. Years before he ever became a caster on Rainbow Six. He's doing that right now. So that goes to show you, like, people can easily move over. I mean, to go on a quick tangent, a doozy from BF4, one of the strongest vehicle players in I think the Asian continent. He eventually became a
uh-huh.
pro PUBG player for Navi. So
Oh,
you can see like the scope of players who migrated over from Battlefield. So continuing on from that, I jumped into BF4. It was my first PC FPS in a long time. Had to relearn the mouse and keyboard. Went and joined. I think this purely by chance. I joined the Casual Farmers Association, which was
huh.
well, it consisted, sorry, there's the word. It consisted of people from Exertus, people from Rival, some people from
Ooh.
BF3's top PC teams. And there was no really any competitive scene at that time, so they kind of just grouped up together, got to know each other, and
Okay. So you were there from the
emptied
beginning.
servers. Kind of. December 2013 is when I found them.
Okay. And oh, I mean, at
So
that time it wasn't alive, so
yeah, I met people like Music. I met some of the Exertus guys. They taught me a bunch of stuff. I used to shadow for them in vehicles. Never played any like matches with them because by that time, they were done pretty much. But I got to know a lot of them personally, and I got I got to learn a lot of it from almost the driver's seat, so to speak.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
what was your first in BF3, you say you were
Mm-hmm.
shooing for some,
Mm-hmm.
but did you like actually you know, get part of a team and start actually feeling like this is the direction I want to go?
See, there was a CFA composed team called Here for Beer, led by my friend Kilo of Team Kilo.
Okay.
I filled in a few. I filled in a few rounds with them, and I got absolutely dumpstered by, well,
Hey.
Synthic.
Oh boy.
Synthic
Wow.
was #1 by that time because at the moment Exertus left, Synthic really didn't have a worthy opponent. So the South American teams came in, they were dumpstering us. We were
Mhm.
probably like bottom tier. I mean, we had some
Oh.
enjoyed success. I filled in for 3 or 4 matches, but I didn't really seriously consider going competitive that time because I didn't feel like I was ready yet.
Was
So
at that time was competitive like
definitely a thing. Definitely
it
still a
was
thing.
definitely a thing. It was like diverse enough to where okay, these are the certain classes I like, or is everyone just running medic? I mean, what was it like at that time?
It
Were
was
people
more of an
still
assault
experimenting?
engineer meta. Yeah, the people were
Okay.
still experimenting. It was still very vehicle dominant, especially the 8s and 10s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it took a few more years for people to realize that support and recon were actually useful. So I'll give this an
Interesting.
example, right?
Yeah,
Prior
yeah,
to when I
yeah.
joined Synthic, I can't really, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to reveal any part of the playbook here, but I played a
Hey,
little bit of recon. So I had a lot of motion
unclassified.
balls. Yeah, I had motion balls. Claymores were banned. I had motion balls in C4. I was in charge of making sure most people were spotted when while my compatriots like Royal and Grand Beast made sure they killed everyone. I was
Mm-hmm.
fragging pretty hard, but I was more of a support role. And granted, I didn't really get into competitive until late 2015, probably summer, where I approached the SF and I said, "Hey, you guys are running a tens team, right? Let's start it." So that footage that you're playing right now is actually
Yeah.
from my very first uh I think scrim with Reflex, who were a
Uh-huh.
contender at the time. But I didn't really stay that long actually. I had actually asked Incarnate about joining Team Synthic,
Okay.
and about 3 or 4 months after tens had officially started, he invited me to join. So that's how I became part of the Synthic team. From the moment forward, I was kind of just thrust straight into their strat book. A lot of tens teams I've noticed, and a lot of eights teams have very, very explicit strat books on this player does this player does that. Well,
Yeah.
something was entirely different. There was a word for it. It's modular. We could toss in someone who was less skilled than I was, and they'd be able to win no sweat because their role was you did this, it's on paper. If you can do this, you're flexible. And they still got it done. So I was slotted pretty well in and kind of meshed in. Got to know some
Well,
of the people.
well, that's good for just Battlefield's sake. When
Hmm.
just talking about game design and class balance and whatnot,
Hmm.
it seemed pretty diverse. Though I didn't get that impression at all in Battlefield 4. I don't know, maybe it was like 10v10s Battlefield 4. It kind of seemed
It
like
was a lot
everyone
more. It
ran the
was a lot more
same.
diverse than we originally thought. We even had people who were playing against us. I mean, hey, Cryostasis, if you're listening from PTC, he was running aggressive recon. He actually had the bolt action out and stuff. He was killing quite a few people.
With the
We had to
scope?
counter him, obviously. Yeah, he had well, it was more like an ACOG SV98 last time I saw him running it, but he was
Okay.
very, very good at that job. He could clear people.
Oh, nice.
But we needed recon mostly for its spotting capabilities because 3D spotting is actually disabled. It'll pop on the minimap, but you won't see a
Oh,
Dorito over the person's head. So
right.
that's actually very important. Obviously, comms are important as well.
Mm-hmm.
For support, it was more of the APS system because a really, really great strategy that a lot of people employed, especially with boats. Do you remember Lankang Dam?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is all
Lankang Dam
in
had,
BF
yeah, yeah.
BF4, right? Okay.
Lankang Dam had a strat in the middle of the island where the boater would sit next to a support with the portable APS gadget, and they would switch off APS, and it would actually deflect missiles. So
Okay.
boater's APS ran out. Someone tried locking on him again. personal support APS would activate, disabled that as well. So it was you had a lot of strats like that. Airburst was banned. Shotguns are obviously banned. I think I'm missing something here. Other than the ammo box in C4, oh, claymores were banned too, but we mostly needed it for its lock-on capability, lock-on prevention capabilities. So
Oh,
compared to like
yes, I
base
do
vanilla
remember
game,
that. Yep.
yeah, compared to like base vanilla game, it was definitely a lot more diverse than people think or people
Mm-hmm.
give it credit for. Because you
I
had all
see.
these little nifty things that people discovered, days upon days of trying in private servers.
But it also depended on the map too, because it kind of seemed like the strats on something like Land King Dam was way different from something like Lockers
Oh,
or
definitely.
Metro.
Lockers we just put 10 of our strongest infantry in there and just mixed it up.
Yeah,
If it was
that's.
something like Zavad, we knew where to place the mines or place the slams.
Oh,
There was like
slams.
this particular semi truck near Conquest C and D
Uh-huh.
on CQ64. If you placed it right next to this truck, the tanker would have seen its blind spot, but if you reverse back, he'd explode because they would proximity mine trigger it. So it was,
Gotcha.
little nitpicks like that. You don't see that getting used anymore.
Okay, well, I wanted to start off in this area discussion because I wanted to show that you guys couldn't have done any of this if you didn't have the tool set. You didn't have the servers,
Oh,
the
definitely,
private servers to even get this going.
definitely.
And
Oh my
I
god.
feel like EA and DICE has totally forgot about you and people who like to do competitive, and that's why it's not a thing anymore.
Hmm.
So it do you? I mean, right now it is coming. This bare bones, whatever they're gonna have here for the RSP system. Now, everyone's
Well,
but
I
yeah,
see
yeah,
Ender's coming in.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, you're not wrong. They've completely forgotten about RSP. They keep, making empty promises left and right. They're just like, we're gonna have it soon, soon TM, as they say. It's gone. There's been no progress. I'm glad they actually killed off that 5v5 mode. It didn't matter.
Okay,
I
but
mean,
do you think competitive play, like having these scrims and having these matches, do you think this actually built communities, or do you think
yes.
but do you think it kind of like, did you see a lot of growth in your communities, in your competitive communities? Did you see newbies come in like, oh man, I'm not really into competitive, but I think I'm decent at the game. Like, did you get a lot of people like that coming on
Yeah,
in?
we actually did. To the point where Synthic and ESF had separate, you could almost say like they were like G League, NBA, like farm teams. For
Okay.
example, ESF had something called ETR, Eternal. And Synthic had oh my god, I forgot about this. Synthic had their own farm team essentially, but it was ET,
Okay.
Experimental Thunder. Yeah, we were training young players. In fact, I'm actually the second youngest in the Synthic team, right, on the competitive team. The
Oh.
the youngest we've ever had, his name is Tempa. He actually came from Experimental Thunder as a fragger, and then moved his way up to Team Synthic.
Hmm.
He became a pretty decent fragger. It goes to show you, like, yeah, there were people who were interested in playing this. That year of 2016, we had so many teams at one point that we had to create a tier system where
Uh-huh.
Synthic and ESF were at tier one, and PTC was at tier one, and then we had tier two teams like 777 or Steel, and then tier three teams, which are relative newcomers who we really didn't know. We had it for a while. And then people just started losing interest in the game because at that point, the game was so far into its lifespan.
Hmm. But I
But
mean, that community grew. Did you notice, like setting up these matches, getting people in was
oh yeah,
way
definitely. There's a lot of
easy?
involvement.
Okay,
There
so
was a lot
people
more
were
involvement. It was easier to
interested.
get people on. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, like, the whole thing about RSP, right, is that it allows us to make these decisions. It allows us to make these private matches happen. Allows us to test out things, and
Hmm.
now we don't have that. I mean, you've already heard this. You know how Enders and Omni have to go and ask people to leave the server
Yeah,
in
it's
order to
very
run a scrim.
embarrassing.
It's grating. You guys have to do this for an hour practically,
Why
and
do you?
it's
why do you think EA went this direction? It's like, fuck those guys. Fuck this, competitive players
Bottom
out
dollar.
there.
Bottom dollar. They
didn't make money off you guys, which is weird because you think like a lot of these other FPS games, like BR games, are making tons of money off these competitive communities. What's going on here? Like they didn't really care about that money specifically.
Well, see, from the start, DICE has never really officially supported competitive leagues. Like we had Fnatic and Nitrado. Incarnate mentioned we had a server provider. That was Nitrado. We had those two sponsoring one of our tournaments, and the winner got like Fnatic mouse pads and stuff. But we never had any DICE involvement. The only time DICE has ever had that involvement was that stupid incursions mode. But for BF2, there was nothing. For BF3, there was nothing. For BF4, there was nothing.
None of the community managers at the time were saying, or like propping up, or maybe even advertising your matches in any way.
No, if anything, the only thing they ever even encouraged was the ESL 5v5 Fnatic
in what way?
thing. They ran a cup for it, but it was just European. It was only within Europe, technically. It was like, I mean, we had a strong NA team, but they got knocked out. But it was Europe versus like Brazil, and it was a small 5v5 cup. And I'm going to go on the record to say this: 5v5 is not the future of competitive Battlefield. It never was, never will be. Okay, it's just infantry.
What will be?
It should be 8s, it should be 10s. When you think of Battlefield, you think of combined arms. Planes, jets, tanks, you know?
Yeah.
You cut that out and it's just like any other infantry game, you know? Go play CS. You have COD. You have Siege. You know,
I think that's definitely I think that's definitely on the minds of DICE. They don't want to lose their image. They have something here that a lot of games don't have at all when it comes to balancing in, infantry. Different classes is unique as well. Different gadgets in those classes is unique. Map design, you got conquest game modes that a lot of people can't really master. You got things that can really bring a different light to competitive. But where did you see that, oh my god, like DICE might, with that 5v5 cup, might be a starting point? Did it feel like a starting point, or did it feel like
it? It did not feel like it at all. And I mean, I'm going to go out on the record to say this as well. There was a point in time, 2-3 months after BF5's launch, where you had this prominent game changer named President Slendy, right? Some BF1 competitive player. He was trying to organize a community where it's just like, hey, we want to push DICE to be to make a competitive mode. But I already knew deep down, and not just me, I had other people who said the same thing, that guy was only in it for the 5v5s. Never cared one bit about the 8s or the 10s. Like, one thing I knew very quickly was that community was instantly segmented. Just, all the 8s and 10s players, they all left. They went to go play like Arma King of the Hill, where they actually had vehicles. But the rest who were there were just 5s.
That's still before the BR scene, right?
Oh yeah, that was before the BR scene.
Way before. Because like DayZ was like one of the first, right? Or
yeah.
Was it Minecraft?
No, Arma 3 King of the Hill was just kind of it was a King of the Hill map mode, but you have vehicles where you can spend your in-game money on you get the money from killing people, but you can bring out your tanks, helicopters, like that. Just play it like the way you play BF4 with vehicles. Just a little bit harder because it's a little bit more milsim. So you had most of the vehicle horrors go straight there. They didn't come back.
Okay, so you guys never saw a beginning of where DICE was like even hinting at pushing some sort of competitive, like official competitive scene.
Not even the data mine mode? No. I mean, like...
Nothing, huh?
Congrats to Temporal, but they never really announced a scene. When you heard the data about it, we're just like, oh, okay, 5v5, it could be Incursions Part 2. Most of us thought it was going to be Incursions Part 2, and... I mean
back then, like BF4, during your competitive scene, like during this video that I'm showing here, there was no hint at we want to go into competitive.
No,
because you guys are doing so well.
It was all community. It was all the grassroots. On the NA side, we had the Champions Combat Series, organized by Simpic. And then on the EU side, we had something called BCL, Battlefield Conquest League, which was organized by none other than Level BF, who would later become Awesome.gg, and then they would
Right.
split to go back to level.gg. But yeah, it was those guys. It wasn't there was zero developer like
What
help.
about sponsorships? Did that help instead of the publisher?
Well, that's what I mentioned before. We had Fnatic and we had Nitrado help us for some of
I
the
get you. I get you.
tournaments. The winners got winners got some nice goods. I think some of the people in my team got mouse pads. We got some of the Fnatic mice that they had. Being as I was new, I didn't get one. I don't regret that. I mean, I was a greenhorn at that time when we won that cup. But yeah, we got some stuff out of it.
Do you think during BF3, BF4 times with the new Frostbite engine, do you think DICE was not really confident in their engine to even remotely support competitive game modes? Because it wasn't that stable back then, right?
I don't think they were just confident. I mean, I don't think they thought about it at all. Like, they didn't think about it with BF2, they didn't think about it with BC2. Why think about it in BF3? At that time, too, you have to realize, 2013, esports was only really limited to CSGO and League, and whatever Blizzard game that was on, like StarCraft. It wasn't as exploded as we have it now with, like, Overwatch and Siege and everything, you know? Actually, no, Battlefield 3 was 2011. So think about that for a moment. That's 8 years ago. And to see like esports as a whole blossom like this, yeah, like back then, it's something the developers wouldn't have thought of.
Interesting. That's kind of unfortunate. I mean,
Masinski's right. Can we pour one out for Cal Battlefield? Cal Battlefield was a thing. It existed long before I ever came into the scene, but that was the precursor of our modern Battlefield leagues.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm thinking, Bert. That was my. There were so many bugs at that time. There's a lot of movement bugs. I remember in BF4, things were inconsistent. There's a lot of head glitching areas, like right here in the video. It kind of seemed that a lot of competitive players said you have to fix that before we can even go in that direction. You know.
Mm-hmm. So here's my man Hockey. I see him in the chat.
What's up, Hockey? But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that, okay, so basically we covered that it didn't look like DICE was interested in writing that initial wave of competitive scene, and it just, what you guys did just sparked your own inner communities, and then that was it, pretty much. And then once DICE took those tools away to even start that or continue that, it just died completely.
Yeah,
and now we're seeing more and more hints from I think late Battlefield 4, maybe Hardline, maybe definitely BF1. They're hinting at, we want to be a competitive game. We want to get in on the scene. Too little, too late?
Way too little, way too late, because BF1 wasn't built to support a competitive league. You look at Incursions.
So why are they talking out of their ass then? They say these
sweet
things.
Talk you. That's how they do it, man. They sweet talk you. We've been conscious enough about this. We knew that we were getting sweet talk the moment BF5 came out. I mean, we look at Incursions, right? Incursions, the weapons, the vehicles were completely new. You had to relearn some of the things because some of the stuff you don't get in a vanilla game.
So competitive has always been there. It's just never had a hand from DICE, says Hydro.
Yep. And the thing about Incursions too, I got this from someone I actually want to protect because I don't want to mention who he is. But he told me that Incursions was just practically a beta test. It was never going to be finished. They were going to take the experience.
It was never going to be finished.
It was never going to be finished. It was never going to be released.
You know, that takes development time and a lot of money, right?
Oh yeah.
Why would they do something like? Why would they spend all that money just to not go anywhere with it?
I don't know, but they said they were going to apply it to the next Battlefield, and then now we have 5, and then we had that canceled 5v5 mode. So that is all a giant waste of fucking time.
Time and money, and it's just they lied. No, is it a lie?
It's a lie. I think it's a bold-faced lie. I mean, at the same time, I understand. I'll play devil's advocate for this. I understand that they have all these sides attacking from all these people attacking them from all sides, right? You got the competitive community, you got the casual community, you've got other people who want this, they got other people who want that. I understand that, but at the same time, like you can't go making empty promises. You know, you're just moving the goalposts. You're drip feeding people with stuff that's never going to happen. And as we saw with the Council 5v5 mode, as we saw with no RSP, it's dust.
Okay. So with RSP coming up now, in the next month or so,
presumably,
yeah, if it doesn't get delayed, there was an announcement on Twitter today that more information about this so-called RSP will be delayed, which is not very good sign for that at all. But do you feel like, with sim.gg coming back, with some other clans and groups kind of eyeing Battlefield to make a comeback?
Really.
It's nothing's really brewing.
Even us at Synthic, we've never really talked about whatever went on beyond BF4. Just there's nothing. There's no there's no opening, there's no opportunity. Yeah, there's no expectation or there's no opportunity for us to jump back in it. I've seen a lot of the BF4 era clans just straight up like go to other games or die. Particle died. They went to BF1, they died. We absorbed most of them to Synthic. Synthic is now playing Rust. Some of us have gone to go play Destiny. ESF is now primarily PUBG. I mean, it's really sad to see because these are people I grew up with them. I grew up playing with them. I grew up playing against them, and now to see them just play completely different games that aren't in Battlefield kind of hurts.
So this RSP is for the casual that wants it, not the competitive.
It's not for competitive, it's for communities. It's for communities like AOD and TVG and those guys.
Just casual communities.
People who want to, encourage you to join their clan so they have a server that you can play on. I don't see RSP as a bad thing. It should have been there from the start. I mean, it doesn't matter whatever server you play on. Admins are admins. But
that's going to happen.
It should have existed in the first place. Because we could have had access to practice servers, we could have access to dogfight servers, especially. Because you can't run anything with attachment slots or anything with upgrade slots in test range. Who the hell thought of this?
I saw people like Omni and some of the clans they were playing against, they were trying to do something.
I appreciate them trying to do something, but it's all falling on deaf ears.
But there's something there. So if you give them the tools, it can start over again, just like Synthic did back in the day, or just like the iJag or whoever you guys were talking about.
See, by the time that happens, we're gonna be out of our prime, or most of my friends are gonna be out of their prime.
True.
It's gonna be way too late.
Yeah, but you guys are gonna be the leaders, right? Let's say the boomers. Let's say to bring in people, or they're gonna have to do it themselves, huh?
They're gonna have to do it themselves. I'll come on as like a support role. I've never really been a team leader. I actually turned on the idea to be a team leader in Synthic, because I mean, I'm very blunt with what I say.
Sure.
I actually almost got in trouble last April for calling out a former BF4 dev who accusated my friend Music.
Oh.
I got a warning from Synthic about that. It's something I'm actually kind of regretful about. I haven't apologized to Incarnate about this yet either. But
shit.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, enough about the competitive talk. If it comes up, it comes up. It'll be great, I guess, for people that are into that.
It's definitely something I'll look back at as a formative period and something I dearly miss. Because there isn't really anything to help you improve, The way normal players play, normal non-competitive players play, it's not going to help you grow. It's not going to polish your skills. It's not going to push you past that plateau of skill you have. I'm plateauing right now. I've actually lost my ability to flick between opponents.
I know.
used to
I
be
was
able
going
to
to
flick-
ask you. I was going to ask you about that. And just now that we're on that, did you have an injury or something, or
No,
you said you were changing something, like something that would hurt when you do something like that, or I don't
No,
remember.
it would. I mean, it started aching, but it's not like a carpal tunnel thing. It's just more like I am using it after not using it so long. You
Okay, I
know,
see what you're saying.
I relegate. Because competitive died. Most of us relegated ourselves back into like a farming style, something that
Sure.
wasn't as super involved as moving your mouse around. And it's a degradation in skill. And
Gotcha.
ironically, I've been trying to get it back up through squad-based matchmaking in Modern Warfare because people are actually sweaty.
Ah,
So
yes.
you can actually kind of get yourself back up on that. Siege also helps as well. But there's nothing like that in Battlefield.
Interesting. But do you want something like that in Battlefield? Do you think
It
that's
would be
good for?
nice.
Do you think that's good for this type of game? This
Well, here's the
open
thing, right?
world.
I don't trust DICE to make a ranked or competitive ladder because I mean, you've
Okay,
seen their
that's a good
past
point.
attempts.
That's a good point.
With RSP and pickup games, there's how that's how I kind of grew my skill. I went and played pickup games and pugs.
Hmm.
I rang for scrims. That's how I picked up my stuff. I
Okay.
don't trust DICE in the least to even consider making a ladder.
Yeah, I would have to think that way just based on evidence, pretty much, of what's been going
Mm-hmm.
on in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they'll ever? Do you think this type of game, this type of genre, like World War III came up and all that they want to, even Modern Warfare is thinking about opening it up, bigger mass
Mm-hmm.
vehicles, air, all that stuff. Do you
See, in
think they want to
concert,
take you? Do you think the FPS genre or these other companies are trying to take what Battlefield doesn't seem to want to explore? Do you think
they're
those
willing
kind
to
of
make the
large
jump.
game modes?
They were willing to make the jump. In World War III's case, they were willing to go all out without the destruction, and I like that. It's just that
There's nothing wrong with that.
their launch day really hurt them, and their insistence on not making certain days Steam-free weekends really hurt them as well. In
Hmm.
Modern Warfare's thing, it falls short of an admirable first attempt, right? Because you
Yeah,
still have the whole camping issue. Vehicles are always third person, and there's no air vehicles. The chopper gunner is really just a joystick simulator. It's not an lift down, lift up physic like Battlefield 4, which
hmm,
is why I'm always going to compare Modern Warfare to Battlefield 4 when it comes to the ground war mode, because it goes to show you that a 2013 game actually had some pretty good promise. It's all because DICE LA saved it too.
you mentioned Ground War. I'm not. That's with the new Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wait, you played it, didn't you? You have a copy of Modern Warfare, don't you?
Yes, but wait, didn't Ground War start in that World War II game? The World War II Call of Duty? Did they have a
I don't
mode
think it's.
called Ground War?
I don't think I actually don't know about that. Feel free to correct me in the comments, boys.
It
But
was like
I
a
think
breakthrough type game mode, I believe. Breakthrough. It felt like there's sectors
I
and
don't know
stuff.
about that. I don't know about
Okay.
that, but as far as I know, the vehicles in COD are very, very arcadey, very almost rail shooter kind of. They're not as involving as
Right.
Battlefield. Like as they used to say, the old Call of Duty and Battlefield wars. Call of Duty, you have kill streaks. In Battlefield, you are the kill streak.
People are
You know?
saying it was back in COD 4. Is that what you're referring to when you're saying Ground War?
Um,
Was a
I don't
thing
know if
COD
Ray's
4?
correct on that one. I need someone to double check. I don't remember anything about any large scale mode except with this Modern Warfare.
Modern
Mainly,
Warfare 1.
I think only because, I mean, obviously, Infinity Ward's trying to cash in on the disillusioned Battlefield 5 crowd, and they brought some of it over. They brought me over, of course. I mean, now I'm
We'll
scroll
see.
wheeling people.
We'll see how it goes with Modern Warfare. But
Hmm.
what they also introduce in, let's just say Ground War was the only mode the new Call of Duty had,
Yeah.
and they were growing on that.
Hmm.
Do you think that I lost my train of thought when it comes to the just the larger game modes? Um, let's just say they were doing that and they had Battlefield ready to go, pretty much,
Hmm.
and it felt like Battlefield and all that. Do you think Modern Warfare or Infinity Ward can actually, do you think that would actually catch
I think it would have
as
caught on a little
competitive?
bit better. Oh, you mean like 8v8s or 10s in COD?
Yeah, do you think Ground War could be competitive right now?
No, not in the state it's in. One of the main
Any
issues
hints
that
at it?
plagues one of the main issues that plagues Modern Warfare as a whole is the existence of kill streaks. If you had, I know that you can technically spawn vehicles out in the base, and there are vehicles that spawn at the beginning of Ground War, but it's very limited. If you were trying to do like 8v8, 10v10 Cars Quarry, you'd have to limit it to the first 3 middle points. You keep the back ones as back caps, but you can't. If you were to like distill it down to an 8v8 or 10v10 formula, you would have to reserve some of them as gimme flags. Like for example, let's say there's 5 points, right? Those 3 points right here are the ones that you can touch. Those 2 points over here are gimmies, but you have to keep them as. I mean, they're not gimmies. They're practically enemy base, your own base, because you try to capture these things, and the map becomes too big for a player size like that. You would need to. They would need to. It's kind of like. How do I explain this? Some of you will know that Grand Bazaar 2v2 in Battlefield 3 was a thing, right? You would only be allowed to capture points A and C, respectively, as the enemy team and your own team. But the only point you can convert was B in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah.
let's say A, B, C, D, E. A and E, you're not allowed to convert them, but B, C, D, you're allowed to convert them. Otherwise, if you were to capture these two, the map is too big, and I mean, you're throwing
You'd
20
have to up the
players.
count. You're
throwing 20 players into a 64 size map.
Yeah,
with no map boundaries,
no fun.
mind you.
Yeah, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. But yeah, I was just trying to see if maybe, I mean, just from playing it a little bit, I'm playing some Modern Warfare, playing some Ground War, that
it's
maybe
fun.
this could be a thing where these competitive players might want to go ahead, but it's not really that kind of. You think Conquest is much of a? Well. It's not much of a competitive game mode, is it?
It's not fleshed out well. Like I said, the vehicles are very, very shallow. The air vehicles are very shallow. So at the end, you're still back to gunplay, but just on a bigger map. At that point, you might as well just be playing 6v6s.
It's a large domination.
On the small multiplayer map. Yeah.
It's
a large domination map. Like, that's the main issue that plagues Ground War right now versus Battlefield. Like I said, it's falling short of an admirable first attempt, because the things that set Battlefield apart are the vehicles. But the vehicles in Ground War are shallow and don't have a high skill curve or a high skill ceiling.
They're very bland and basic.
It's very bland. You just point at the enemy and fire with your Bradley, and then you have no option of repairing your vehicle, so you just kind of ditch your vehicle. Like the same thing kind of.
There's no mechanics.
World War III is actually a little bit more in depth than this. World War III actually had a really in-depth tank system. I don't understand why none of my tanker friends played it, because it was a lot more in-depth than Battlefield 4's. You had APS that didn't have to be triggered by pressing your countermeasure button. That actually triggered automatically. You had 5 chances. You also had thermal sights. You had upgraded HMGs. You could change the shell that you wanted without drawing it out for another. The customization screens in World War III are actually MW tier, if not a little more, especially in the vehicle department. I wish I had a screenshot to show you.
I remember. It's pretty nuts. Yeah. It is really extensive. Even
you could change out so many
crazy too.
You could change out so many more aspects of your tank in that game than any other game I've ever seen that's not World of Tanks or War Thunder.
Oh. And did you see any? I mean, I know it was a rocky start in World War III, but did you see some competitive people like eyeing this and like, this could be good, but I mean, this could be a main competitive thing.
It could have been, but the thing that really hurt it the most, obviously, player count and available servers. As far as I know, I have to ask Skittles about this. I guess she might know more about this. But as far as I know, there's no RSP. Right. There's no RSP. There are no private servers, no locked servers, not yet that I know of.
Right.
And the general amount of people playing this game right now is in like the low 200s. So
is large game modes they're just never going to be competitive in the scene?
this is exactly what I said about 32v32s. 32v32s will never be competitive.
Okay.
It's one word: organized. It is always going to be organized. Sure, you can throw competitive players on the team, but you have to micromanage 32 players. And for a caster, there's a lot of spots of action you can focus on.
Yeah.
It's almost too much. But at the same time, look, in terms of a competitive mode, you have to realize getting 64 players to join a server is very, very hard to get than getting 20 people in the server. Maybe you get my drift.
Yeah.
Like, people have to make time for it out of their schedules. You know, you already have people who say they can't make it. There are backups, there are ringers. It's all over the place. So 64s will never be a competitive aspect. It will always be organized. You look at what level.gg is still doing with squad. They're still doing 40v40 40v40 competitions, but it's not competitive. It's organized. It's a campaign. Anyone can join as long as you're part of these factions. There are broad strats, but not tuned down to the single person.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I just want to see if maybe it doesn't seem like Battlefield seems like, I mean, large game modes seem like it's just a thing for casual fun. It's fun to have to go up against a lot of people in an open world. That's
a fun thing about Battlefield. Like,
yeah,
the idea that you're essentially playing 1v63, honestly, because let's be honest, the people on your team, they don't help.
Sure,
1v63 is honestly kind of fun, and it's fun gloating about it. Like, this is one of the best things about Modern Warfare's ground war mode is if you do so well that you essentially outscore your team and their team, and you go on the mic and you talk trash like, this is the easiest game of my life. You're gonna get 32 microphones that are just bristling with anger, and you're just, you know, you're high off those fumes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's another aspect of just having fun. Okay, well, that's pretty much just like the comparisons I want to do. I got to get away from the whole competitive thing. I really want to talk about this new patch coming up for Battlefield.
Oh, it's ass.
The controversial 5.2 patch. Man, things were looking great until you scroll down far enough to where you saw that there were weapon balance changes. My God, what went through your mind the first time you saw the whole weapon balance changes?
They fucking did this in last November. Why haven't they learned? That's my first knee-jerk reaction, okay? It's worse than last year's TTK update. And I get they're trying to get the Christmas card in, but this is not the way to go about doing it. Now everyone's turning into more of a bolt sponge than they already are. I have to fucking slam mouse 1 on my M1A1 even more now and get carpal tunnel because the person's gonna take almost twice as long to die. So
yeah, you macro the shit out of that.
No, yeah, I have to bind it to scroll wheel and flick it up and down now at this point. I mean, not that I already don't do that, but like, Misinski said this best, actually. One of my friends, he said like, TTK update's only going to benefit people who actually have good tracking and good aim. So, you know, players who are proficient, like us. Sure. Yes, we can snap to more people, but it takes more rounds. And then if they're going to go ahead and say, didn't they go and say, we're going to give you more ammo in reserve as well? Or is it the same amount of ammo?
I don't know. We don't know that information yet. Just
See,
they might increase an ammo pool, but not.
Then attrition is dead. Attrition is effectively dead.
Oh, almost, yeah, pretty much. I think they want to kill it for sure.
Oh my god, just kill attrition and keep the TTK where it is. No one needs attrition. People who think attrition is a good thing, go play Milsims. Go play Milsims. That's all I'm saying, dude.
That's a great fix, man. I would have loved to seen that when I was scrolling down, reading the 5.2 update, and they're like, "Hey, we're getting rid of attrition. Let's go have some fun, huh? Merry Christmas, right?"
See, KHC was also talking about like some of the weapons are either going to be an increase in rate of fire or a decrease in rate of fire. And from what I hear, it's mostly going to be the former, not the latter. As much as I like the idea of a 1500 RPM ZK, that's just simply not realistic. I mean,
No,
come on, Dice, come on.
they're trying to, like KHT said, or they're just trying to keep reinventing the wheel. There's these pockets in Dice that want to go in a specific
Like seriously, that Pacific War trailer, should have been titled Battlefield. We're sorry, and now they go out and do this shit.
Essentially it was. Yeah.
Fuck.
They were on a good streak. Things were looking great. Very positive on the Reddits and on the Twitters. Things were looking good. People were excited to play these new maps. They had new.
I mean, I have a feeling the devs are probably
everything.
the devs are masochists. Let's just put it that way, man. They really love getting hurt by the community.
But now they
wanna
wanna teach you, the pub, the so-called competitive player. They want you to understand this is the right way, and we don't care what you think. Sure, we built all this. This is another pocket of dice that built this for you. What you have now. Now you want these dudes with their fist subs like, no, this is how it's supposed to be played, and now they're gonna push it on us.
They want to go back in a time machine and reenact 2018 all over again. I don't know what they're thinking, man.
So what are your bets?
No one was complaining about it.
What are your bets, Proto and chat? How long until they revert it? Because I'm pretty sure they're gonna.
Well, okay, so let's just say that the TTA update from last year was really bad, right? And it took people a week to of endless shouting until they reverted it, right?
Yeah, it was like a week and a half or something like that.
All right, I'm gonna go by a principle of 2. It's gonna take 3 or 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks. We got 2 weeks.
It'll take 3 or 4 weeks.
We got about Tree Fitty, a month and a half.
Yeah, it's gonna be another 3 or 4 weeks of belly aching before they go and apologize again. And then when they do it again next November, it's gonna be 3 times as long.
Well, let's hope the servers will be completely dead at that time. And
I hope the game dies,
KHT,
dude. God.
Like KHT said, he kind of hopes the game dies so we can start something good and fresh.
Look, I'm doing my part to empty the servers by spawn capping people into oblivion, but
there you go. That's one way.
Either this game needs to die, or whoever is doing the balance, throw them out, please.
Yeah, well, let's hope they're not around, or they get it. They get it the second time.
Heard,
fool me twice kind of thing,
The amount of stuff I've heard from like other QA people working at DICE who actually have a brand in their heads, when they tell people at DICE this is what you should be doing, 180, they go around and do the other thing. I remember hearing when they were discussing tanks, they were saying that tanks shouldn't be able to go 60-0. Which is kind of ironic considering that the tankers that I know can still do it. They said they wanted them to be support vehicles. They didn't want them to go 60-0.
And
Come on, man!
You think this is where the attrition started?
This is where the attrition started. This is where the mobility nerfs got hit. This is why the Pacific War tanks are so much better feeling than the base game tanks. They actually have mobility.
You goddamn competitive players, you're kicking all of our money out of our game. So we gotta punish you either with movement or with visuals or with attrition.
I don't understand why they're punishing
the balance.
I don't understand why they're punishing good players. You shouldn't be punishing good players. You should be punishing the people who camp off objective. You should be punishing the people who use MMGs by, you see them running out into the middle of the road and they just lay down and start firing at you. You should be punishing those people.
Yeah,
not us.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if they're close range, which I've been playing with the MMG for the past 3 days. And I'm just trying to find a spot to go. Even these new maps are not meant for MMGs at all. Maybe some of the smaller game modes in those new maps, sure, I can easily find that, but I can't do. It's really hard to post up on a fucking rock that has 50 billion polygons, and there's no flat surface, so it on Pacific
War, on Pacific War you play it like Rising Storm Vietnam. You hide in a bush and you hit them.
That's right. That's the most effective way I found out.
Yeah, I mean, Vietnam itself is a great game. They're just too different in TTK, too different in theory, too different in movement.
And I was just pondering, why can't it just be like BF4, aim down sight,
See, Bert mentioned this. Bert mentioned this a long time ago. In BF4 we had no issues spotting people who didn't have Doritos on their heads because they had this sort of shimmer or some sort of outline that differentiated them from the rest of the world, right? We don't have that thing in Battlefield 5. Everyone just kind of blends in. Oh, okay, you light the soldier up a little more. That's our patch. Did it really do anything?
Nah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna try to bring up a. Do you have a Battlefield 5 vid on here? I think this one, right?
Yeah, I guess.
The
I don't know
first
what that is.
the 8-hour one.
Yeah, new map seen broken game.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, good. We'll just have this on. Well, I don't think we'll be talking for 8 hours, but yeah. Why did you stream for 8 hours? What was going on this time?
I had no. I was in between
Or just
work
recording?
and not having work.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was relaxing. Yeah, I got work again, so no,
So
I
what do you
haven't
think?
been able to stream.
What do you think? Let's just go into maps right now. In this map specifically, Operation Underground.
Mm-hmm.
Is it fun? Do you like it?
It's a lot better than it was in Metro.
Than original, right? Yeah, a lot of people have been bringing that up.
My only thing is there isn't like an elevated like ticket booth area as wide as the old Metro used to be. Like now it's just kind of like you walk up the steps and there's your tickets. You know what I'm saying? There isn't like this expansive like ticket hall like it was in BF3 and BF4. I enjoyed that. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the map. And now it's kind of gone. You know, now it's just fighting on the train tracks, and that's honestly kind of not the best. I will give it a big plus though. There's a lot more flanking routes now than there were, so it's easier to push out of a lockout.
For sure.
But obviously, it's only dependent on the players on your team.
I bring up this map in specific to the. I want to continue talking about the 5.2 patch now. There's these new spotting mechanics, right? And it kind of seems that this will benefit the aggressive player. Do you think?
Is it the auto spotting thing?
The personal auto spotting thing, because this is close quarters. You're going to be seeing a lot of Doritos more often, right? 28 meters is when you start seeing things if you're aiming right at them. I mean, if your crosshair goes right over.
Doesn't this kind of hurt the flanking aggressive player though?
I guess
that's my main issue.
Yeah, flanking. Yeah, they were talking about that. They have these things called safeguards. They want to make sure those are in place where people can go and flank. They mentioned that specifically in the article. I don't know what that means. Like, do you know what that means?
No idea.
Let me see if I can just bring it up here.
It's like, I don't know. It's like a worse version. It's like a worse version of the auto spotting like attachment we had in BF4, where you have to aim down sight to spot the person, but it's on a bigger level. Like if you're catching someone who's flanking, they're running away. You spot them on the map. It hurts that player because now he's visible on the entire team. It's like a variation of that one spotting bug we had at launch, where if you shot at someone, they would get spotted for the entire time of the map until they died. It's like that. It's not as bad, but it really hurts people who are trying to get a flank on you.
It does. I've been watching a lot of people stream lately and try to like envision it. And it always seems like, man, if that was there, if that new spotting feature was in, that good player would have saw that guy and would have murdered him pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Because the visuals are so bad on certain maps like Marita, right? I see some of the best players in the world that like, hey, you just missed that guy. Who's like, I didn't fucking see him, right? Because you're
if it's a good player who's stopping someone from flanking or stopping someone from running on your left or your right, yeah, it's gonna benefit them immensely. I mean, we already have better power. We already have better eyesight or better game sense than the average player.
Right.
Now that's just I mean, it's gonna help us, but it's also gonna disadvantage us when we're trying to sneak up.
So like chat is right. They've brought this up before. This has been a feature before, but it looks like they wanted to get rid of spotting almost completely at the launch of Battlefield 5. They're like, a lot of people said, well, we just want to minimize the spotting because BF1 was so bad. Now it kind of seems they want to backtrack from that completely due to feedback, I guess.
I don't know. The devs are fucking pancakes at this point. They'll flip flop on any. They will flip flop on any issue. Oh, I'm assuming the streamer heard the net crack. Yikes! That's a loud net crack.
I didn't even notice.
Sorry, boys.
Mia Fuji. Oh man, you guys missed the beginning where Proto made.
Oh, Mia should have seen it, dude. Mia, you weren't there at the beginning. I did 416 for you. You didn't come here.
Yes, you got to go back and watch that.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's just
yeah.
I
Okay,
don't
so
understand why they're just rolling it back.
one thing I want to cover here is Music and Ravik were testing this back in Battlefield 1 Alpha. They made a video of it because they put it in the CTE at the time. I think it was pre-alpha or something like that. And basically, they were able to auto spot people that you definitely couldn't see. And I feel like that might be coming back, especially like people are indoors or like through windows. They'll be auto spotted and they'll lose that form of hiding. Do you think that's going to happen here? Do you think it might be broken at launch, or they've thought of that? They saw that. Like, do you really think they
that
got
last
this
part is honestly
solid?
rhetorical. That last part is honestly rhetorical. It's going to happen. Like, it's going to be a bug. People are going to notice it. But if it's something they intended, that's even more incriminating than it should be. Yeah, it's more incriminating than it should be.
I'm worried about
auto-spotting
that.
should exist. Auto-spotting should really not exist.
It's for the Christmas nubs, right?
I mean, it's just for generally lesser skilled players. You're holding. You have to strike a balance between holding. You have to strike a balance between holding the new player's hand, and sending him out into a trial of fire. I understand that, but this is going too much into hand holding.
Right. What Wall Weasel said? Yes. Many of the media covered that about the spotting.
Just move your mouse over the screen and see. Yeah.
Yes, that was in like the main pre-alpha builds. I think it was even in the alpha. In the alpha. Yeah.
For Wall though, it's different from as if I just mouse over you casually and your name pops up. Right. It's way different from that.
It was like if I mouse over 3D spot. It was a literal 3D.
Like if I mouse over you if I mouse over you and your name pops up, but you aren't spotted to the rest of the team, that's fine. If I mouse over you and you're spotted for the rest of the team, that needs to go. That's bad. To go.
That's bad. Awful. That's bad. But the range was like unlimited, I think, in the alpha Wall Weasel, because I did see some media people saying that this is a problem. Like I'm not supposed to be aiming down sight and then automatically they're spotted, you know. But yeah, I don't know, chat. KHT, welcome, dude. The devs
it's practically not spotting anymore. It's just radar at this point.
What about the cheaters? Cheaters with ESP being easier to figure out since all the players will be spotted.
Well, they should have had an anti-cheat by now, but look at them.
An anti-cheat, yeah.
They killed Punkbuster. They killed PB Benz. They killed Fair Fight support. And look at this. There's no option.
They have blanket Fair Fight that's all manual and
the mass reporting. The only thing you can really do is mass report. By that time, like,
let's see,
it'll take 1,000 reports. I remember one of those guys, God Krim, right? I think that was his name was. He was a Firestorm. He was playing Firestorm against Poopy and the gang and any other Firestorm streamer, and he had ESP. He got banned. I think is honestly like a really shaky affirmation because I don't know if he did it or not. I just noticed he wasn't playing that game anymore, according to my friend Crandon. But it goes to show you that the anti-cheat doesn't work. I mean, the anti-cheat never worked in the first place. Do you remember back in BF1 when I got banned for a week for SMG08? I got that reversed within 6 hours though, because God Hold was working at that time. But yeah, that it goes to show you like yes, anti-cheats aren't perfect, but the game would benefit having an actual anti-cheat than not having one at all. BattleEye is not a bad place to start. I don't know why they didn't integrate with BattleEye. BattleEye is supported across quite a few games.
EA PUBG? Has some. What does EA have for freaking Apex Legends? They have that.
That's BattleEye, I think. Oh, blue. No, shit.
That bear thing. Something bear.
Yeah, I think it's BattleEye.
It is BattleEye. Okay.
Easy AC. Yeah, easy anti-cheat.
Easy anti-cheat. And is that
that's also not bad. Oh, it's pretty effective. Sir.
EA's use. I don't understand. Why can't Battlefield use that?
Division uses EAC, I think too. I don't understand.
Maybe they are. Maybe they are. I don't know.
They aren't. They aren't. You'd see it running as a process. You'd be seeing it as a process. You'd have it installed into the file. I don't see a PB folder in Battlefield 5. I don't see an easy anti-cheat, nor do I see a BattleEye folder.
No, they got rid of PB for sure.
Like
Buster, long gone.
How do I say this? Like, it's either the devs are just really bad and don't want to implement an anti-cheat, or they're trying to do that thing where it's just like, we do everything in-house, we're going to have our own anti-cheat. If it's
Yeah,
the
I think you might be
latter,
right. I think you might
if
be
it's the
right.
latter, well, you ain't making any progress.
Yeah. I think they were using just fair fight, but at a very low setting at the time. I have a feeling that's what they were been doing, and now they upped it just a little bit so they don't accidentally ban people like Omni Baranox, which is it's insane that he even got banned for just playing the game. You know,
He got banned.
he got
That's
banned.
something.
Baranox got
That's something
banned.
I have not heard at all. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So
game. See,
here we go
that's
again.
probably one of the that's probably one of the worst things to do with an anti-cheat is banning good players for nothing. It's
Yeah.
happened a few times before. I've seen some people get banned when they shouldn't have. In fact, Bert can tell you all about this. In BF4, PB
Do
bans
tell.
had an error. They started false flagging some stuff.
Oh
Some of
shit.
some of my legitimate friends got players who were legit. They got banned. They got false flagged. We don't know what was triggering it. From the BF4DB guys who I used to be a little closer to than I am now, they said it could have been anything. It could have been like an RGB installation on your motherboard or some other program that they flagged as being an inappropriate exe file, and that's what they banned it for. But it could have been anything. But all we knew is that they were false flagging. I
Interesting.
got 2 or 3 of my friends got banned for that.
Whoa.
Um,
Maybe that was it sounds like an agenda almost. Like we want
well,
kids messing around with this shit.
it was definitely one of the reasons why PB bans isn't on Origin games anymore. Because of that. Like it's
I see.
there was a lot of feedback between these teams about the false flagging thing, and I guess that's probably one of the reasons why it never existed in BF1. It didn't exist in BF4.
It was out of EA and DICE's control, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that's
from
exactly
what
why it's gone.
some of the guys I knew who got banned, they submitted a reappeal and they got banned globally. So
Fuck.
yeah, it wasn't just Battlefield; they just got banned globally. You couldn't use it anymore.
Oh yeah, that there was an overlay that Baranox was using. It was some sort of like crosshair overlay thing. Have you heard of that?
Enders mentioned something like that to me. I almost considered using it. I didn't use it. Not because
Yeah,
of
looks like everyone took it off. Whatever.
not
That
because
was.
of not because of the anti-cheat thing. I'd actually never heard about it until now. I think I didn't need
Reshade.
it. I just didn't need it in
Reshade.
general.
So
Reshade should have Reshade is banned.
So no, that's a rumor. But
Oh.
Reshade is also rumored to have actual tools where you can actually hack with it. So
Reshade was actually in BF3 was actually a bannable offense to run Reshade. I ran
I
its
see.
predecessor, Sweet Effects, in BF4.
Oh yes, yes.
I ran it in BF1, but I didn't run it in 5 because at that time I've been using the same computer with the same layout for all those games, right? So my 4790K here is actually on its last legs. It's not like degrading or anything, but it's going to it goes to show you like how far DDR3 machines can suffer on new games like Battlefield 5. So
Yeah.
I'm due for a CPU reset. So
Okay.
that's the reason why I turned off Reshade, because it was going to punish my FPS any more than it should have.
Okay, yeah. Well, most overlays do anyway. But yeah,
Yeah.
hey, if you're using Reshade out there, I don't know. I wouldn't. That people are getting banned for it. It's a rumor. I don't know for sure, but
I mean, if there's one
to
thing
be
you
safe,
can do,
just don't use it.
if there's one thing you can do instead of Reshade, use NVIDIA Ansel, because they have
Yeah.
sharpening and color tools within the GPU program now. So and it's more first party, I guess. So you shouldn't
Yeah.
get banned for that.
And a lot of monitors have these crosshair options, right?
Yeah, my old Asus one that I sold, that one had it was very obnoxious though. It's very big. It's not very small. It's like takes up like a 2-inch by 2-inch part of your screen. It's pretty 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. Just go with that. It's very obnoxious. It helped me for a little bit in Rising Storm. Then I realized it didn't help me, so I turned that stuff off.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else in the 5.2 patch? I think those are the only controversial. Everything else is. Oh yeah. How long did you always want to have some sort of indicator that you were spotted?
For as long as whatever it was in BF4 or BF3, just something that I think spots usually had a time of 3 to 5 seconds. I think before it disappeared off the map again. Something like that.
Wait, there was an indicator before? Is that what you're saying?
No, when you spotted someone, they would show up
Okay.
on the map for a set amount of time, then disappear. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. No. When you are spotted,
Uh-huh.
it will indicate that you are spotted.
Oh,
On the
like
mini
an
map.
indicate? Okay.
So yeah, it would highlight the edge of the mini map. This is what the new update will have. It'll be a
Siege
yellow
and
highlight. It'll say you've
Siege
been
and
spotted.
COD have something like this. So for Siege, it tells you that you're spotted. You're being spotted. You're being
You're being
tracked.
spotted. Yes.
In
Yes.
Modern Warfare, it works two different ways. You have a perk called High Alert, which also gives you an outline on your screen, like a yellow outline to let you know if someone that's out of your vision angle has seen you.
Uh-huh.
And then there's also the drones, which actually give you a little "you are spotted" in the bottom part of your screen.
Gotcha.
I'm a little bit more attuned to. I think the the border highlight one, it would be a little bit better. It would be
Yeah.
nice to know, but at the same time, I think it feeds too much information. In the context of Battlefield, I think it feeds too much information. You should be that should be already being ingrained into your game sense, like whenever people could see you or not.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's not of high priority to me.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it was never a high priority for DICE either, but it would have been nice, and it's kind of interesting.
Yo, do me a favor, ban Feral. Actually, Feral's a BF4DB cheater.
Serious?
Yeah. Knock him off.
Okay. Feral, FXRAL.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Let's see. Cheated twice, 3 times in BF4. Never admitted to doing it. Kid's honestly a fucking. He's a fucking snob. Want him out.
I'll let my mods decide because he hasn't broken any rules here. Okay, well there goes guitar. Okay, then he's gone then. Okay, good knowing. And 600 hours of aimbotting.
Bert can show you the proof. Yeah.
Damn, I'm still following you around? Jesus.
Dude, I live rent free in this dude's head. I love it. I love it.
What's up, Zari? Yeah, it's Proto.
Oh shit, Alex is in the chat. Okay, I'll probably let you use my Evo every so often. Oh, Redneck's too. Throw Redneck's out. He's also a feral.
Oh shit.
We got some people who really hate it when I stream Battlefield 4 because all they do is they play Shanghai because they don't like AAs.
I see. Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Wow.
But
yeah, some people.
Got some bad blood. I got some bad blood following me from BF4. It's really funny.
Shit. Okay. I think that's pretty much it for the 5.2 patch. I think we covered that pretty well.
I mean, you want a quick TLDR of it, right? It's a bad idea. How the dev's doing. You guys made this mistake a year ago. Why are you doing it now? So
there you go. And there's a lot of other good, interesting changes on there when it comes to spotting and things like that. Vehicle balancing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay. Anyway, so we now have 2 years with this game now, or a year and a half almost.
Mm-hmm.
What's other than like RSP and what do you want them to change? Do you want to keep playing this game, or are you kind of over this game and whatever comes, or do you want to see something specific come along here in these next 2 years?
That's a really broad question. I think it would be a mixture of actual good balance patches, like, making the ARs a little bit more of a better pick versus SLRs, because SLRs are ridiculous. There's no reason why you should be using ARs, barring the 1907, over the SLRs. For vehicle balance, that's something that you mentioned. Right. Tanks need a balance pass in vanilla game. After trying Pacific Wars tanks, they're just miles ahead. Light years ahead.
That's
even.
Interesting. Yeah. And they have tons of more capabilities that the vanilla tanks don't have.
Honestly, one thing I should be saying is the dev should be spending less time on graphics, less time on cosmetics. I get that you have elite skins. I get that people buy them
some way.
You gotta make money. Yes, I know that. Games as a service, blah blah blah. But invest more time into knowing how your community thinks, knowing how it operates, knowing what the proficient players want over the players that aren't good.
Yeah. I think even like little things like squad call-ins. I think they could add a little more flair to
Squad
that.
clones are nice. Hey, what happened to switching teams? You know, things, little quality of life updates.
Auto balancer.
UX issues, like, you know how notice when you go into the game settings, you drop 60 frames for some reason when it shouldn't be. Like in BF4, we didn't have this option. We didn't have this problem. I was sitting at 200 frames whenever I summoned settings, no issue. Go to BF5, it dropped down.
Remember the launch of BF5? It took you like almost 5 minutes just to exit a game. That happened back in the day. Yeah, BF1. It happened.
BF1 had the same issue. BF4 actually had the same issue too. BF4 actually still, I wouldn't say it's an issue, but BF4 has that one thing where you exit a server and you got the little blinking loading thing, but it's taking god awful forever. You know, that kind of like, I wouldn't say in that case that's not a bug. It is a feature. I hate to say it. That should have been
What about audio? Do you think they should leave it the way it is or keep working?
All right, hot take on this one.
Footsteps.
It's actually better than Modern Warfare's. Modern Warfare is actually probably the worst sound design I've ever heard.
Okay.
I'll be running around. I won't hear the person until it's too late, or I'll be running around and the guy will be on top, but it sounds like he's next to me. With Battlefield, you can kind of directionally pinpoint where they are when it's working, but half the time it still doesn't work. Right now, I'd say like the best sound design would overall, or the most consistent, would still be Siege. But even Siege is confusing. When you open up a hole in the wall in Siege, the sound leaks in through that hole, so it's really hard to place where the person actually is.
Okay.
I mean, the one thing that is the difference though is that it actually still works. But
all right. Yeah,
Siege is a little iffy, but at least it's working most of the time, and at a time that's more, and it's more perceptive than Battlefield's.
I've always wondered about Escape from Tarkov's audio system.
You know, I've never actually played Tarkov, and that's something I need to ask. What's his name? Captain Swoopy. He's one of our ESF guys.
Have you heard good things?
He enjoys it. I've heard some good things and some bad things. It's better than it was. Is it for me? Not really. Looting games are kind of a iffy thing for me. I got suckered into playing Warframe. I was kind of mad with that. I had some fun in Division, but then it got really old real fast. And now I'm playing Destiny. And like that, these type of looting, I understand that Tarkov is more like a survival looting thing.
Yeah, very slow. I was just touching on the audio. I'm like, maybe DICE can learn something from that, perhaps. It's really loud too when you hear your own footsteps in that game.
It's a little it makes you claustrophobic. I've seen some of Sacriel's streams with him playing Tarkov, and yeah, it's very claustrophobic, very 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 very. How do I say it? Like, it makes you feel really uncomfortable.
Interesting.
I'm okay with that. Is it a game I'll be playing often? Not so much. I mean, you ask me to try playing it, sure, I'll give it a shot. But
Warframe? Yeah. Zariana brings up Warframe.
Snoreframe, more like it.
Snoreframe.
It's really grindy. It's really really grindy. I like the lore. It kind of gets a little repeating. I mean, I'm getting carried by my friends. Like it's definitely not a game that you want to play.
Oh, you brought up Warframe. Oh man, I didn't even notice that.
Oh yeah, no, I brought up Warframe before. Like it's a really grindy game. I mean, I play it every so often. We haven't been playing it lately because Destiny is now free. It's a good game in itself. It's just there's a lot of time devoted to it, and we only have 24 hours in the day, so yeah. And there's 30 mastery ranks, and you can't hit 30 You can't hit 30 ranks like that in a month. It will take you half a year, let's say, with that. Half a year if you're really dedicating time into it.
Well, I just want to reiterate, this is the season finale of the Battlefield Show, episode number 11. I am here joined with ex-competitive player ProtoApex.
I'm not gonna put that on my Twitter bio anymore. It makes me look like a dick.
It looks like he's an eccentric weeb. Look at all that. Look at this room, man. Unbelievable. And
I mean, don't you love these things?
It's great. Show me the body pillow. So what is that
These
reference
okay.
to?
So these are not body pillows. These are they call it nesoberi, from the Japanese verb nesobu, to lie down. These are plushies,
Nesoberi.
man. These things are like $200.
Where'd you
I
get
got
that?
money. I bought it from one of
J-Rob.
the online. I bought it from one of the online shops called not Ami 1999.co.jp, Hobby Search. That's the name. I got 3 of these.
Do you have any merch from Japan?
I got a bunch. I mean, what merch are you talking about though? Is it like
Plush,
apparel?
like plushies and stuff.
Oh no! I real life friends know this. You want to see this?
Oh my god. Okay, so all those are from Japan. Jesus.
I've got a problem.
Oh my god. Why?
Oh, J-Rob's here. Oh, J-Rob, no.
J-Rob is like, fuck.
Yeah, no. I did.
So all those are from Japan, you said?
My
The
second
ones
trip
on
to
top?
Japan, I
Yeah.
got 20 of those things, right? Vacuum sealed them in the bag on my Airbnb, took off. And customs, thankfully, never found out that I was carrying $400 worth of plushies. But yeah, they're great huggies.
That's cool. That's cool. Are those like collectibles or?
They are collectible. Actually, some of them are really rare.
Really? Oh, okay,
There was one that
that's cool.
I went to one of the shops in Akiba, and I saw a rare one, right? And I was like, "How much is that? $40?" Out goes my wallet. It's a rare sleeping one. It's a different expression. They're really nice. Other than being cushy, they really serve no purpose.
Okay, well,
they're there to remind me of my sins.
Well, this begs a question. What is your most prized possession, and could you show us?
I don't know, actually. I don't really have a prized possession.
Okay.
Like, what do you? I
Like
mean,
most,
I don't
how about the most rare thing you get that you would like to maybe show the audience?
I don't have any rare things, actually.
Oh,
What I
okay.
think is rare to me. You know?
Ah, I see
Maybe it's
what
that
you're saying.
personal worth, but I don't really have anything that's super rare.
Okay.
I mean, I look at all the stuff I have that's technology wise, and I think probably like my favorite thing is my 1080 Ti. But I
It
mean,
says you have a WA2K plushie. What does that mean?
oh no, it's not a WA plushie, dude.
No.
It's a pillowcase.
Oh, there you go.
And no, I'm not going to show it because that is Twitch TOS breaking. You might see there's a guy in your chat named Ari Party. His name is Vlad. We a bunch of us, 10 or 12 of us, hung out in LA at Anime Expo this past year, and I got suckered into buying that.
How often do you play with that?
With these? I don't know. I just hug it. I hug it when I go watch anime or go watch like Netflix or something like that. They're good. They're cushy. I don't see any thought about it. Like, here's a weird thing, right? You always talk to like you always talk to weebs or something like that. They always have something like, "Oh, I have a body pillow," or "My favorite girl is blank." I just look at them with like the weirdest look on my face. Just, are you serious? Are you really putting your time and effort into this? Just buy this stuff.
What is? Okay, you're discussing here two different weeb cultures here.
No, weeaboos are generally very, very. Okay, it's almost like any American fandom of any popular American series. It's pure cancer. It's kind of just like, oh, my favorite girl is this. This is my favorite character. Oh, I like this pairing. It's all this vitriol, and I just stay out of that shit, dude. I just collect what I want. I believe what I want. I mean,
Gotcha.
there was a point where I used to be like a pretty like active eventer. So these girls are from an idol group. We call them 2.5D because we usually go to see their voice actresses perform live.
Oh, wow, cool.
I went to go see them in Nagoya. It was fun. First day was kind of meh. We had stadium seats. Second day, front row.
Stadium
no one ahead of us.
Seats. Wait, they're just.
Oh yeah, they perform it, dude. They perform at like 20,000 plus people stadiums.
Wait, just voice acting, like a video or a movie or a game or something.
Yeah.
They're just microphone.
The reason why we call them 2.5D is because they play the seiyuu or voice actors. They play a character, and then at live concerts they sing as the character. But I mean, it's kind of like a blend because at this point you're like, especially if you're a voice actress that's played it so long, the personalities almost kind of melded. Like they're almost part of your repertoire. Kind of like how, you know, Ryan Reynolds, when he does his interviews as Deadpool, it's almost part of his character now. You know, kind of like that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I mean, that's part
cool.
of the allure, I guess. And we got the light blades and the light sticks and everything. It's very distilled. It's not as stupid as K-pop is, because K-pop is stupid.
I was about to ask you about K-pop, because that's seems to be a trend here. Oh well, it seems to be a global. It's a global trend.
The Korean wave, right? I think that's what you call it.
I guess, but in America as well, dude, it is
just
all over the place.
I mean, Korean music is good. Don't get me wrong. But they're how do I say this? Like live concerts. I should probably send you a video or something later. Live concerts in Japan are way different than live concerts with with K-pop. The K-pop, you have people waving light sticks and chanting every so often. Sure. They honestly stole that from Japan. Like Japan has a set rules of chanting or something. Vlad can tell you more. Vlad, help me out with this. It's called Woda or Wodage, and you bring out your light sticks and you move them to preset situations and you chant every so often. But it's so ridiculously orderly compared to the way K-pop is. K-pop's just straight up raucous. It's a wild card. JP, you have set stances, you have moves, you have just a general orderly like.
I get it.
Yeah, like some sort of layout, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the glow sticks. Vlad knows about this. Yeah, they're set call specific parts of the strong. I have my light blades right over there, and they are really bright. They're like 75 lumens or something, but
oh, cool.
I haven't been to an event in quite some time, not since AX, but it's definitely the rush is there. You go to like an American concert, you go to like a Rage Against the Machine concert, or any of the alt rock ones I really enjoyed during my high school times. And it's just people mosh pitting. Yeah, there's no really like really set or order about it.
No.
And you go to like the Japanese concert and everyone's just participating.
Can I compare it to perhaps line dancing? Is that way too?
That's way too like
organized.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's a thing here in America for sure. Even any cowboy bar you go to. Definitely line dancing on, so it's nothing like what you're
yeah, it's nothing like that.
Okay. Well, welcome to the Battlefield show, guys. We're just talking about nothing but Battlefield. So bland right now. We're talking about fucking weeb stuff. Okay, let's get
I'm going to get hung on this. Yeah, I'll send you this later so you can play it on whatever, but that is a video to Vlad knows this. It's the call guide to Jibun Restart. You can hear where people chant. You might be able to see some of the live. I don't know if there's any live aspects in there. Of people like waving their glow sticks in the background, like that. You see that? Like that's orderly. It's not like people waving around wildly, But
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like there's a set and order and a way to go about doing it, and you don't get that in any other type of concert, which is why that attracted it to me. And it doesn't even have to be for anime stuff, right? It could be J-pop, it could be J-rock, They have the same thing.
And do you have like an IRL? Do you have an IRL clip?
That's the thing about
actually in concert.
Shoot, Vlad, you got something?
It looks like there's something here. What is this? Ready? I miss.
Ooh, Aqua Rainbow.
How about this? Hey, what about this?
Yeah, see that?
Holy shit, dude! Yeah. I see what you're talking about.
I got a I of this. I actually participated in this one.
Whoa!
The Aqua Rainbow. Vlad is right.
You have these? Do you have these?
I've got. Fuck. Here, hold on. Okay, these might be TOS breaking. They look like giant fucking glowing dildos, but I don't care.
That's alright. They're not dildos.
But, let's see. I think you ignite them like this. Are they on? Oh, well, one of them is on. I think this one's dead. But you can change colors in between them, things like that. And then, I mean, you flip them around and stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks almost
fun
exactly
stuff.
like this.
Yeah, it's these are expensive. These are like 40 a piece.
Holy shit!
I have
They
3
probably
of those.
sell those like crazy over there at the venues.
Mm-hmm. Shoot. Vlad's telling me to show you something called the Aqua Rainbow. There is this group, this idol group called Aqua, and for the Anime Expo that we went to recently, we did a rainbow with the light sticks. Pretty fucking cool. I just need to find the image.
All right.
I
can't believe you're talking about this.
Okay, I'll show you a diagram first before I find it. But
okay.
This is what it's supposed to look like.
Are we losing all the battlefield people here?
Yeah, we're losing all the battlefield people. I'm actually setting myself up for career suicide. Don't mind me.
No, man, this is more exciting. For me, it's more exciting to talk about than Battlefield.
Really?
Right, yeah, this is interesting shit.
Let's see.
That looks so much fun, though. Oh my god.
This is what we did over at.
To go to that.
You see that? That's what we did. I was sitting in the far left.
You
I think
something?
that was probably one of the green ones. Yeah. Check your Discord.
Oh, open original. Hold on. I covered your face on accident there.
That is actually something I participated in July. That was about a day before the earthquake hit too.
Oh shit. How'd that go?
See, the earthquake one, that was a little funny because the earthquake hit while we were in attendance, and the song just stopped. Like right after that, we had to wait a little bit. But things turned out fine.
Sinister said we honestly gained viewers because of this.
Oh god, no, we didn't. We lost like 20. We lost like 11 viewers. Not that I mean.
Who cares? Anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, that's part of the reason why I continue to go back to Japan every so often. Is the eventing culture.
Dude,
the eventing culture is ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to do this when I go, for sure. I think it'll be great. And they would love to show me how to do everything, how to do the dances and all that.
No, I mean that's the cool thing about the newer generation. They're more open, they're more receptive. They know that there are international fans out there for whatever music you wish to support.
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get back
to
Battlefield. Back to Battlefield Land. Okay.
That was a good icebreaker.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's what I was kind of looking for. I was thinking about doing some sort of icebreaker, and it just happened naturally. So perfect. Just beautiful. Okay. Anyway, game modes, limited time game modes. Why do you think they brought up limited time game modes?
To get people to play. I can see the advertising aspect behind it. You're trying to bring back people who are just like fuck Battlefield, and they're like, "Hey, Russia's back." You know, I get that whole thing.
Make it as an event.
It's not as effective as they think it is. If you have someone who's already called it quits about Battlefield 5, and they go and they bring back some mode they really enjoyed playing, they're not going to go back. Most of them aren't going to go back. They're going to say they're going to go and realize that there's still outlying issues. Like there's still issues with the game. Why am I going back? You know.
That's like probably the most accurate thing you can say. You can ask that to anybody. Oh, you're playing Battlefield again? Why? Oh, there's new content. There's a new they brought back my rush. Do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
they're going in to hope that those problems are gone, because they don't read this shit on the daily of all these patches. They would want to go back to see if shit's got fixed.
Yeah, they never bring it back anyways. Like what Slaves is saying here. Like they'll bring it back for a limited time. That's the whole thing. Remember what happened with Grind? People are like, "Oh, Grind was a good game mode." Well, I mean, because you really had nothing else at the point. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Yep, and they have it back now.
Yeah.
Did you try the new update? Right now, the Grind.
When was that?
Grind just came out today for like Operation Underground. Did you play that?
I haven't played it since. I haven't played Battlefield since I played the other day with Boca and Poopy.
Gotcha.
So that's about 2 days ago.
All right. Well, maybe chat might know, because I might hop on in there.
Ooh,
not a lot of people are liking Grind. It's literally the same as before. Okay.
If you wanna, I mean, if you're gonna come play, I might as well come play later. Well, but yeah, it's. The idea of limited time game modes is a double-edged sword. Because also you have to realize, because we have no RSP, this exists, right? Because they're going to be like, we're going to allot 10 servers to this one mode because it's a limited time thing. And so if you had RSP, then it wouldn't have to be a limited time mode.
No, you're right. I wonder if this whole limited time thing was started at the beginning, or they just realized this is something we would need to, like, it's an afterthought. What do you think? Do you think it's something they planned?
Afterthought?
Definitely
an afterthought.
Just to fix certain issues when it comes to like people coming back, right?
It's just another way of damage control.
Oof. Okay.
It really is. There's no. You can't really beat around the bush with that. It's just kind of just like, hey, trying to bring people back to the game. Let's do this. Let's do that. But you're really grasping at straws because so many of the, you've kind of jaded the rest of the community, or incensed the rest of the community.
Yeah, because people could not believe that they took Rush, which is like one of their biggest game modes ever, and they got rid of it, and people just lost their shit. It's like, what do you mean it's a limited time? Everyone lost their shit. It was like, wait, this is like a staple now. You're gonna get rid of it? And then
poor decisions.
They tried again. Listen, they tried again with Squad Conquest, which was limited at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And people tried out, wasn't that great? It was very imbalanced. It was mixed, right? But they saw a lot of people playing it, so they, according to DICE, they made it permanent. And why not any of the others that were overwhelmingly positive? Why didn't they make those permanent? I have a theory. I think you might agree. This whole Squad Conquest was made permanent because of the 5v5 game mode that was about to come out. What do you think about that?
And it wouldn't really have that much of a relation because one is 8s and the other one is just 5.
Yeah, but then but most of those, they could have used most of those maps to do 5v5s. No,
were you saying like 8s was like a testing ground to see how infantry flow was in 5v5 modes?
Yeah. I think they were gonna use those maps, the vanilla maps.
I mean,
so they had to make it permanent.
You know that one Italian map, that was the street map, the one that's only TDM only. That one was supposed to be a 5v5 map.
Yeah, the newer ones. Yeah, the Provence and Lockton Islands.
Yeah. Those were supposed to be 5 maps. Neither of them were in Squad Conquest though. Right? Neither of them were in Squad Conquest.
No, they were repurposed to be Squad Conquest only and TDM, like the small game modes.
Oh, so that was kind of just like a band-aid though.
Right, yeah. They were repurposed for the current game modes we have now.
I mean, when there's a will, there's a way. They already cut so many corners, they might as well do this, huh?
Right, and they thought 5v5 was going to be huge. This is just me speculating. They thought 5v5 was going to be big, so they needed a large amount of maps. So they take the 2 new ones and then all the vanilla ones. And then there you go. You got a good rotation. So they couldn't have Squad Conquest as a limited time game mode. They needed to make it permanent, right? And maybe they just made up all these numbers and whatnot. And now that they canceled
they'll do anything. They'll do anything to keep public face. You've seen
I don't know. It's just me speculating about that, but that's probably why it's the only game mode, or the only limited time game mode initially.
I personally, if you ask me, they shouldn't have even started the 5v5, but they should have made a competitive 8 ladder. That's it. That would have been the first step to gaining trust back in part of the competitive community. Fuck 5s, honestly. 5s is just no.
5s no good. Yeah, I hear you.
Like I love playing infantry. Don't get me wrong, but infantry only maps for competitive doesn't set you apart from any other infantry-based competitive game.
That's why they added.
It's not unique enough. Yeah, it's not unique enough. Well, I mean, in the case of incursions with a light tank, you have 10 players in total, and 2 of them are already running light tanks, which is the stupidest thing I've heard all day. You're missing 6 players that can easily run around the map and promote more flow. Why are you sticking it in a? Oh my god! Why are you sticking it in a mode with less players?
Did you play Bad Company 2?
I played some BC2.
Did you play the Rush game mode? on Bad Company
I
2?
did actually. I did.
Was
Other than exploding incon stations, totally fine.
were there vehicles in that game mode?
There were. In the rush mode, there were, depending on which map. Some maps had a T90, some maps had an Abrams. One had
Oh,
a
did they?
one,
Okay.
one or two had a heli. I don't remember which maps though, because I
Right.
never
Yep.
really played BC2 at the same magnitude I did 3 and 4. But they definitely had, because see the thing about BC2, and that's why everyone says BC2 was the best game, because BC2's maps were built around one purpose: rush, and one set player count, 32 players or 24 if you're a console.
Sure.
They were meant for one purpose and one purpose only. I saw old Legacy tape, and by Legacy I mean Music, Ravik, Appleton, the guys I grew up with in CFA. I saw old match footage of them. They were doing 2v2s, squad rush on those maps, and it worked.
Oh.
It worked for a little bit.
Well, that's an interesting point.
It was probably one of the most competitive ones. It was kind of like a precursor to BF3 Squad Rush Cup, and that was also a good mode. I don't understand why they didn't remove it. That was actually a good mode. Squad Rush on Bazaar. Ooh, that was a good 4v4 mode. That's definitely something.
We gotta keep that in the back of our mind. See if maybe the RSP servers can possibly bring that up. But it goes back to map design. And what do you think about?
That's out the window.
Yeah, no, not for this game, but for Battlefield 4. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Battlefield 3 with like Davaman Peak, I think it was an iconic rush map.
Oh, that was a journey. It's a journey just like how Metro was.
Right.
Do you remember how Metro and beta and alpha testing had an LAV in the park?
Yeah.
That was one. That was. I mean, obviously it was a little bit imbalanced because that means the lab could, unless the team was smart enough to knock him out with RPGs. Generally not the best idea, but it was. I mean, it took you like that sort of map design took you through the park, bombed the underground, took you through the subways up till the ticket hall and out till the general city. That was a journey in itself, just like Damavand. It's not like that in BF4. BF4, one of the biggest grips I can give it is the U-shaped map design. Have you noticed how many of the maps are U-shaped? Parasol Storm.
Quite a bit.
Siege of Shanghai. Langkang. Operation Hammerhead. What else? No, Corellia wasn't. Nansha, I think. Savad was probably one of the most balanced maps, and pretty much a stable favorite in comp.
Not U-shaped.
Not U-shaped because it was, Propaganda was actually really good too.
Like Propaganda.
Pro Market was great. I loved Pro Market because it's a little bit of
crazy.
little bit of my own Cantonese flavor in there, and also a really good infantry map.
Yeah,
it was really
verticality.
Fun.
Lots of verticality.
Verticality was definitely one of the biggest things. Yep. That was one of the funnest things about Flood Zone too, because Flood Zone you have people chasing you upstairs. You drop down a floor and kill them.
Yeah,
like that was wild goose chasing was amazing.
For sure. Now you stated that Bad Company 2 was like built around rush game mode.
Yeah.
Do you think that the same way? Because Bad Company 2 had, BF4 had really good rush maps as well. But
that's a little
I'm
bit.
Sorry. BF3. I'm sorry. BF3 had really good rush. I'm sorry, I got those mixed up. So Bad Company 2
had good rush maps.
Bad Company 2 built on rush. BF3 built on rush.
Mostly, yeah. Most of the vanilla maps at launch were built in rush. Metro was built in rush. Damavand was built in rush. Bazaar was built in rush. But they here's the thing though. With BF3, they started doing the whole one map fits all kind of thing.
Yes,
like
that's
Bazaar.
What I bring up.
Bazaar for some reason is still a good rush match, but you can tell like it was obviously purposed for Conquest or squad rush. And most notoriously Bazaar 2v2s or Bazaar 5s, either one. But you could start realizing they had this whole cookie cutter approach, because in BF4 every map had rush and a conquest variant, and a lot of the times it didn't work. I was fortunate to play a lot of the rush modes with the Salt guys from BF4. They've migrated their way to BF5. They've been playing a lot of Breakthrough. They're a Breakthrough only type of group. it, sometimes it just didn't flow right.
So why do you think they went in this direction? Is this to please everybody direction?
Yeah,
And
they
that's where it
didn't.
failed them?
Conquest is a good mode. It's just when you apply other game modes to the same map, it just doesn't work.
Because it kind of seems they wanted to play every single game mode in existence here in Battlefield and build the maps around all of those.
Yeah. Like Strike at Karkin.
Are you saying that's a mistake?
Kind of a mistake. If you build your map around a cookie cutter approach, it's not going to unless you actually change the assets in each map.
Right.
It's not going to work.
They kind of did that for TDM on Lofton Islands. The assets
for Lofton, it's just we're going to cut out this part of Halvoy, and then we're going to throw buildings at the problem, which is fine, I guess.
Why Squawk Conquest is on one side of the island, TDM's on a totally different side.
That part just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Okay, but it looks like from our thought process here is if you want to make a good game, a good Battlefield game that's memorable. Other than BF4 was great for Conquest, you should start building your maps alongside Rush game mode.
I wouldn't say that. I would say if you want to make your maps feel really good, you have to build them around one mode. Can't have them build around two modes because.
And which mode would you like to see? Is what I'm.
What I'm saying is, have a bunch of maps built for Rush or Breakthrough, and then have another bunch of maps built for Conquest only. Don't try to do both. I understand that it's going to segment part of the player base.
Yeah.
But it allows you to actually tackle where infantry flow and vehicle flow is instead of trying to micromanage two different modes at once. You just say let's say Twisted Steel was a Conquest only map. Fine. Don't Twisted Steel as a Breakthrough map is kind of predictable is the right word, I guess, for this. But also kind of bland.
Very bland.
Exactly.
Yes,
yeah.
Very boring.
You know where the points are going to be because they're all points you played on Conquest. Nothing new about it. You're just playing a different format, and then you just have tickets. You're kind of like I said, cookie
It's not really. It's not a very. It's Resident Sleeper for sure. It's not an adventure or a process or a story is being told like some of those older map designs like Bad Company 2.
All right, KHT is telling me to drop the BF3 was accidentally excellent pill. No, BF3 was good. It had its issues.
Problems. It had
its issues. It can't stand to modern games now though. The Vaseline and the 10 hertz. No, it's not. But back then it was really good for its time.
Yeah. And BF4 is highly regarded at the end of its life cycle. And people are still playing it too.
You have people. I was looking at a bunch of Modern Warfare Ground War versus BF4 comparison videos, and the comments were all like boomer tier. They're all just saying, "Oh, BF4 was a great game." I mean, they're not wrong. The amount of things you could do as a player, obviously, yeah, higher magnitude in that game. It feels a little unfair to compare him.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, now that they have Ground War, yeah, you have an option to compare them now.
Okay, so in 2 years, we're gonna get Battlefield 6 or whatever they're gonna call it. What do you think they'll focus on for the game, or do you think they'll just continue
Fix the goddamn game first?
Do you think they'll continue what they did here in BF5?
If they went modern. I mean, the most logical thing to go for them if they want to get people back is either modern times or Cold War.
But
Cold War gone hot.
But game
mode wise, Conquest is still a big thing because I mean, to me, Conquest is the bread and butter of Battlefield. It keeps you on your toes.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Because Breakthrough is very simplistic. It's push forward, push back, not really any flanking options.
Battlefield 0. It'll be interesting what name they're going to choose.
See, what Smurf points out, though, if they actually make a Vietnam version of Battlefield, I hope to God it's a different team. They're going to ruin it if they do it like this.
Yeah.
One of the games I'm actually looking forward to still, even though Tripwire got bought out, is 83. If you know what that is.
I don't know what that is. What's 83?
83 is a codename for 1983. One of the actually, it's more like Exercise Able Archer 83. In 1983, NATO had a huge military drill, but it made the Soviets think that nuclear war was on the horizon. It was probably one of the closest times we ever almost got to nuclear war. Now 83 is kind of a what if the Cold War went hot? You know?
Right. Yeah, I think that's what some of the rumors were circulating around. That was a hot a hot war.
No, I mean that's how the game is. It's Cold War gone hot. So all the experimental guns of that period, the G11, the FAL, the Colt Commando, things that you saw in Call of Duty Black Ops 1, those type of guns are going to be there. But
Nightbot got him.
Rip, R.I.P. Mia.
Oh, are you talking about the game? Are you posting the game? Okay, I don't know. I can't just allow all those links. Maybe I can add Steam.
I'll just do the exclamation point permit thingy, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have
he's trying to post a Steam page for 83.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like 83 in concept, I think is good. I mean, obviously we've never seen any game. We've only seen a little bit of gameplay, but that's not enough to really determine it.
Oh, is it here?
Oh, I kind of want to use the restroom if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it. Well, let's watch this video here.
Yeah. Give me a moment, boys.
Okay, this is 83 he was talking about here.
Has carried on the most massive military buildup the world has ever seen.
This is the 83 trailer that he was talking about.
A system that is hostile to everything we believe in as Americans.
They must use it to test new strategies fit for the nuclear age.
But our purpose in having military strength is entirely defensive, to defend our way of life.
You guys hear it okay? Man, we are spoiled by the graphics we have. Is it indie game? Yeah, indie? Yeah. Ain't a Cold War anymore. Shit just got real.
Alright, I'm gonna do my best Summit 1G impression.
Oh god. Alright.
I'm kidding. Top nep. Well,
top nep. Oh shit. Cold War. Okay, so did you remember those rumors of some leaker who leaked out BF1, BF5, and they were talking about a hot war as well? Do you remember anything like that?
I heard a little bit about that.
Almighty like Dak, yeah, yes.
Dak is a little unreliable, I think. Definitely less reliable than temporal, but I heard a little about that. Well, it didn't really get my hopes up for it. Rumor mill.
Yeah, I think they're gonna ditch that whole idea. They're gonna have to go modern, in my opinion. There's no way they could try anything else unless like a future like
Trexton.
2143 would be an amazing surprise. I would not be mad. It would be a totally different thing. They were talking about it back in the day during Bad Company 2. 2143 was an idea in DICE. I can tell you that.
I mean, they hinted a little bit about it in BF4's Easter eggs, remember?
They put Easter eggs. Yes, they were really thinking about that, and I think they canceled it because of something else happened. But it was a project there. And if they brought that back with a fresh Frostbite engine, or just do it on Unreal.
See, the one thing about like a futuristic Battlefield is that you don't have to necessarily conform to real life weapons or real life guns. You can they're all theory crafting,
Yep.
and that's good, I think.
Yeah. It's
Is
also
it
good for modern as well. You can do that, or like future modern. You can mess around with the gun mechanics, like
Well,
futuristic
like Black Ops
AK.
2, I guess, like 2.
Yeah, something that
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, they have more.
But I mean,
creative freedom.
if you make it 100 years future, you have a lot of creative direction.
I mean,
I think that's good.
They got 2142 to base off.
I mean, because you don't have to conform
walkers.
yourself to a gun, though. Like, for example, I'm gonna bring this up again.
Sure.
Battlefield 4's G36C is one thing I will never let go. That thing is 650 RPM when it shouldn't be. G36, the entire class of rifles have a cyclic RPM of 750. Why they tone it down to 650? I have no idea. BF3 G36C 750. I don't know why they did this.
One of my favorite guns too.
I don't know why they did this. They essentially nerfed the gun. I'd rather use the SAR at that point. But I mean, when you go that far ahead in time with 2143, you are free to make your balance without restriction. You don't have to conform it to how the weapon performs because the weapon hasn't been developed yet. It's all on your mind. So I mean, if you want to make like the European Union assault rifle,
yes, that's been in the game, yeah. It was a faction.
Yeah, it was one. Yeah, the European Union assault rifle. If you want to make it like that, you can have it do this amount of damage. You can have it at this RPM. You don't have to conform it to a real life specification because the gun doesn't exist.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the gun balance? I never asked you about the gun balance in Battlefield 5. Do you think it's pretty good?
Like I said, ARs need to be a little bit more buffed to compete with SLRs, or they need to have some sort of thing that would. They need to have some sort of balance quotient where it would make the ARs more viable than they are now, because SLRs are stupid viable still. LMGs are mostly fine. SMGs are fine now. I used to think they needed a little bit more range.
Do you think they should have more recoil to balance them out?
Well, or
less. I don't know.
With the SMG buff that we have, which reduced recoil, that's fine. It's fine with me. If anything, it made the good players better. It made Enders better. His ZK didn't shake around as much.
It got buffed.
It made my map 38 better. I like it. But it made a lot. Well, I mean, generally it had a positive effect because across the board the SMGs are better in general. The MP28 was much better because they toned down the horizontal recoil. The MP34 is actually usable. The EMP is okay now. Actually, it's better. It's way good now. Actually, more like it.
KHT said that there shouldn't be any horizontal recoil at all.
Do you want to make this Halo? Because that's how you make it Halo. I think you should post thing. Speaking of which, Reach is coming, and if Battlefield 5's 5.2 patch comes in and it ruins everything, I'm going to Reach.
Yeah, I definitely have to go try Halo again.
Oh man, walk down memory lane sounds amazing.
The pace is gonna be so jarring for me. It is very slow paced, for sure. And wait, I didn't say that. You said you would you said it. You said
mining.
You would much rather have a horizontal recoil. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure you said that. It stayed in my brain.
Oh no, you might be quote mining him on this one.
I might be.
I mean, let's see. What else needs a buff? Bolt actions need velocity buffs. Plain and simple. They don't need sweet spots because sweet spots do not turn you into a good player. MMGs are fine right now. Like I said, it's more of an MMGs have an issue of visibility. The player visibility. It's always player visibility. It's not the MMG problem now. I think MMGs have been okay for now. Hey, Laffy.
Laffyama. He said SARs are fine without horizontal recoil. Okay. I did quote mine the shit out. Sorry, KHD.
SARs are fine without SARs are fine without horizontal recoil. We already have recoil off center. Recoil off center should have never been IMO because it made certain sights harder to use. If you've noticed, if you put a 3x scope on a fully automatic weapon, that thing's gonna bounce around. It's gonna bounce a lot around. And SLRs, they're just like, oh, no sweat. Let's keep firing because the recoil goes straight up. There's no
True.
horizontal.
Right.
So that's what I mean by making ARs more palatable again. If we didn't even have that recoil off center thing, ARs would have been an easy pick for me.
Mhm.
Now that ARs have that shake on high magnification sights, I'm going to go and use the M1A1. I'm going to go use the Garand. I'm going to use the G15, which should have never been nerfed. Oh, that nerf did not help. But that's what I mean. Like SLRs are practically the meta choice over any AR that isn't the 1907 range.
What do you think about launchers? Like the current launchers we have?
Okay, here's the thing. The Panzerfaust is fine. The Piat, sometimes I wish it had a little bit more splash, and sometimes I'm glad it doesn't. If we're talking about against vehicles,
Yeah, I think that's what they're mostly used
here's
for.
the thing about it, and this is exactly what I mean by the tanks need to bounce pass in vanilla. In BC2, there was no APS system, right? You had no countermeasures that would render your tank instantly invulnerable to anything.
No.
You as the tanker actually had to dodge. In
Right.
Battlefield 5, you have to do the same thing. You have to dodge. But your mobility is, for lack of a better term, cucked.
Yes.
So
I was surprised by that move.
that is exactly what I mean. If you want launchers, you can make them more potent, but you have to make sure that the vehicles can dodge them. The vehicles can't dodge them.
No.
The vehicles right now barely can dodge them. I mean, I've stopped using the Piat now. I've been using the Panzerfaust more because it operates like the SMA from BF4. You can throw it downrange, and a tank that's fleeing is going to get hit. So that's what I mean. It needs mobility.
Okay. I mean, that kind of circumvents my point. I was like, what other kind of launchers would you want in the game? But at this point, it doesn't really matter. I mean,
I'm gonna go ahead and say this too. Like,
okay.
I think assaults need like maybe one more launcher ammo, but that's about it. Because it's really hard to destroy a heavy tank with just your current kit. You actually need to go to a resupply station and fill it fully before destroying a tank. See, with Battlefield 4, we had no issue with this.
Yeah.
But BF4, we had no issues with this. But I mean, now,
nope.
I mean, we have a thing in Battlefield 5 now. You can't 2-shot tanks in the rear. You have to 3-shot them in the rear. I don't understand why they did that. The weakest point of a tank is the rear. So why does it still take an extra shot?
They had to balance it because of the mobility, right?
Oh, yeah. They could have just corrected that by, actually making the tank fucking mobile.
The tanks were getting destroyed. I remember they buffed the AA tanks because they were getting absolutely destroyed, though I didn't get that. But that was one of their
they have I mean, you can still get nuked while in the AA too because of the bomber. The bombers have insane burst damage right now still. And we're talking about vanilla bombers. We're not talking about the Zeros or the Corsairs.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not on every map. I mean,
that's not on every map, and not every pilot can do it. It's just really frustrating when you die.
Right, but the AAs such on certain maps that don't have aircraft. Do you think they should still be available to pick?
I think AAs should be available on maps where there's significant air cover. Even, I mean,
where there's no planes. Where there's
no planes?
Yeah.
I don't think so. As much as I like to go against the idea, because I really enjoyed farming people in Zavad with the Tunguska.
Yeah, you did. That's why I wanted to bring that up. In this game, you and some other people were destroying people with the overpowered AA cannons. Remember in the early days of BF5?
That wasn't even overpowered though. The cannons actually had spread. The cannons actually had spread. Okay, if I fire at you if I fire at you with an AA shell, you should die. And when I fire at you cleanly without having fired at all, it shouldn't dodge it like it's avoiding you. Like, so for some reason, the nerf that disabled the not the infinite ammo, but the infinite capacity glitch. That one had the effect of making the single shot AA turrets have spread for some inconceivable reason. It's the first shot you're firing out of the barrel. Why should it have spread? Like, people were just really mad that. So you got focused on the A side. You got hit by an A round. You should die anyways. It's like
Yeah, but people have that connotation that those are only meant to kill planes, not infantry.
This goes into my argument of players who can't actually destroy vehicles.
Well, it's hard to destroy vehicles in freaking BF5, especially if you're on what's the map with the hangar in BF5? What's that?
Oh, Aerodrome.
Aerodrome is kill those dudes.
Aerodrome is just a bad map in general.
Yeah,
it's not a fun map unless you're a tanker. I mean, Stickbow's not wrong. The problem is the A was too versatile, but it should have not have been nerfed like that. You're still a vehicle. You can still kill infantry. I don't understand why infantry should have that much of an advantage over you.
They did though. Okay, the 40 mils.
Yeah, 40 mil Beaufort should wreck infy.
Oh my god,
it's a round,
it's a fucking
dude.
Nightmare, dude. No, I disagree. It shouldn't be that way. They should have that for like maybe for a slower tank or something. You got to balance it out, dude. That was just way too rough. Like we couldn't kill you guys.
What they could have done was nerf the mobility of the AA and keep the gun the way it was.
You guys were
you have to realize, Julian, that was breakthrough Aerodrome. The team has 6 tanks. You spawn with 6 tanks. So of course, when everyone's in your VoIP and we all have tanks, yeah, we're going to destroy.
But you're all stationary. So what is this nerf with mobility? You guys are stationary anyway.
I'm not complaining. No. I'm not complaining about the mobility of the AA. I'm complaining about the AA having spread.
Okay.
I don't mind the damage decrease, but why does the AA have spread? The single cannon AA. Understand if it's the base firing mode on the
that is kind of weird.
On the double gun AA tank for the Germans. What is that called again?
I don't remember. I don't know vehicles.
Flak Panzer. There we go. Flak Panzer. On the Flak Panzer had guns that are that function essentially very similar to the Tunguska, but didn't do as much damage to the Tunguska. That's fine. But if I switch to the single cannon AA, why should I be penalized? I can still shoot down planes, but I have a better chance of killing AA. I have a better chance of killing Infy. So don't nerf my spread.
Is this the Tunguska?
Oh, that is the Tunguska. That is my baby.
And I love it so much. This has spread.
It does, but it's because it's firing 2 rounds. I'm talking about the AA with the single cannon. The Valentine AA started with a single cannon, but had an option for dual cannons. The Flak Panzer started with dual cannons, but had an option for single cannons. I'm talking about the single cannons, not the dual cannons. It's fine if the dual cannons have it.
I see. Okay. That's an interesting point. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? The spread from that single barrel. Is that what you're saying?
The spread from the single barrel, yes.
Okay.
To put it very, very succinctly, it fashioned it. The single cannon AA in BF5 was very much like a slower IFV from Battlefield 4, but with less armor and less mobility, and definitely less rounds.
Okay, so number one for the future, we got 2 years to deal with everything in Battlefield 5 to make it better. Hopefully that'll help make Battlefield 6 better.
Well, I haven't even really gotten to the planes, but yeah, I'll summarize it real quickly.
Yeah, but okay, go ahead. What do they need to do to vehicles overall?
Increase mobility for vehicles.
Okay. All right.
For planes, redo the entire flight model. It's not fun. It looks like a bathtub. It floats like a bathtub. It flies like a bathtub.
I feel like they
you killed all the dogfighting. I'm not really one to support the dogfighter community, especially after what I've seen last week. But
okay.
But planes should be able to dogfight and not float around. The BF2's flight model was stiff and fast. Battlefield 5's is floaty and slow. Complete opposite. With BF2, you actually needed to have a modicum of skill. Some of the best pilots who came from there, they were telling me this. These are guys from IDF. These are guys from the Flab Slab Championship in BF3. They're telling me this. And I don't fly. I'd much rather trust their opinion than mine.
True.
Like,
no, they definitely got to bring that back for sure.
It's so lazy. You can't dogfight in this game. It's so lazy. You get behind someone, they're dead meat. They have no way. They have no method of evasion. You can't scissor. You can't cut.
In BF1, could do a little bit of that, yeah?
Yes, but it was still nerfed down from BF4.
Okay, so they need to go back to BF4 to make it fun.
Well, you can go back to BF2. You can punish some really. You can.
Ah,
Going back to BF2 is probably one.
Different engine.
Going back to BF2 is probably one of the simplest ways to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Oh my god, I love that game so much.
Like, the thing is,
was
the thing about planes is that the planes need to have a high skill ceiling and a high skill floor. To me, not a low skill floor. You can't just be able to pick it up and just start killing people. You count the 0. You need to have a modicum of skill. You need to know how to guide it. You need to know how to brake. I mean, speed control isn't really a thing, but you need to learn how. You need to fly it essentially like an extension of your soldier. If you fly it lazily, you should not be able to reap any benefits out of it.
Okay, all right, and what else?
Let's see with vehicle balance. Ooh.
Thanks for the follow.
I think if we go, let's go to the general part of the game. Some of the spawn bugs still need to be fixed. Some UI stuff still needs to be fixed. Quality of life.
That's it for vehicles then, huh?
That's it for vehicles as far as I know, because I can only explain it from a generalist perspective.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, I guess. One thing with tanks, splash radius.
Ah.
Splash.
That's a pain in the ass, man.
Some of the long barreled guns don't have enough splash radius. It's a fucking howitzer. You're mounting it to a mobile carrier. I understand that, but you should still be able to splash infantry pretty decently. With the Panzer IV's long gun, I don't feel like you can splash. With the Panzer IV's stubby, yeah, that's the drawback. Instead of faster, you're taking faster velocity for no splash. Practically no splash.
Okay, what about this proto? What about this proto? Tank zoom in from the main seat, and accuracy. Don't you notice that you're way accurate when you're zooming in?
A little bit of both. Yeah, I think. Do you think the sights are misplaced?
I don't know. I don't play enough.
I don't think the sights are misplaced in the newer ones. I think they might be a little bit misplaced in the vanilla ones.
I just think it's overpowered.
I honestly don't know.
I think the whole zooming in. I think just zooming in, like, it has a lot of zoom on a lot of the tanks. I remember that. I feel like that is what's causing the whole, people just camping with them, because it's just easier just to zoom in and pick off people from far distances.
Then I think you should make it like like Battlefield 4. You make it an option to zoom in.
Ah, people like options. I like that.
But I mean, that would actually kind of hurt the whole historical accuracy of the tank, though, because tanks do have zoom in sights.
Okay.
But you do understand the reason why tanks play so passively is because they have no mobility. They're afraid of moving in and taking a point, and then getting Moby critted to hell when they can't retreat. So their band-aid to this problem is to sit back and snipe, which is exactly what I hate, because I hate dealing with them BF1, and I hate dealing with them in BF5.
Gotcha. Okay, so more general parts of the game, and then we'll end the show here. What do you think? The general, you were bringing up spotting and stuff like that.
For spotting, I mean, I don't mind the whole BF4 spotting system. I sure as hell don't mind the BF5 system, because most of the times that I'm playing with comms. So I would at least have a general idea, but it is kind of annoying sometimes, because sometimes your spot chevron doesn't land where you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe tweak that a little bit.
What about the Q to spot? Q to spot
should still be a thing over the auto spotting bullshit that you were telling me.
Okay. So they should bring back spotting. Basically.
Yeah, either bring back 3D spotting or keep the spotting the way it is, because it, at least for players who do understand that spotting is actually useful, they will benefit. For the players who don't know how to use Q, well, then that's on you.
It's been like that for decades, or almost a decade, for Battlefield. It's always been Q to spot, 3D spotted for a limited time. There you go. But it looks like they wanted to change that whole 3D spotting mechanic, and so they ended up going with the BR spotting, pretty much like he's in this general area location thing. which is nice, but
I mean,
now they kind of seem like
it's not just, it's not
back.
really BR spotting though, because Milsim games tend to have this as well. Rising
As
Storm
an
Vietnam, for
example,
example.
as an example,
Yeah.
yeah. Gotcha.
I mean,
Okay.
other than that, I mean, maybe some performance fixes. There's definitely some low FPS in some areas still, and I don't understand why the game is still hurting quad cores the way it is. This is probably one of the first games where I've seen it redline as 6 core. I've had people with 5820Ks, 4960Xs, 6 core 7820Xs from Skylake X telling me that they were redlining in this game at 100% CPU usage.
Yeah,
So
a
either
lot of
that-
people, yeah. A lot
Yeah,
of people
so
with high-end rigs are not performing
So that's
very
either
well.
telling me one of two things: either that it's time to upgrade, or there's something wrong with the game engine. And I have to say it's the latter. It's
Yeah.
not the former.
It's
My
usually
4790K
always.
should be able to, run the game above 120, no sweat. It's not. I have this thing. I mean, Power Rage is talking about this. I deleted the fucking thing. I have it at 4.8.
Oh shit!
It's not degrading. It hasn't degraded for 2-3 years.
Wow, that's
mean-
not that long. That's not that long.
Yeah, there's no issue with it. I've had it at 4.7 ever since. The only reason why I deleted it was because it dried. But there should be no reason why a quad core should be impacted this. Oh my god, am I using fucking actives in that?
This is not
I am.
you. I don't think this is you. Is this you?
I'm gonna shoot myself, man. That's
I-
actives. I might be. I hope that's not me. That's active.
That's
radar.
not you. I just brought up randomly.
Okay,
I
good.
searched it.
Oh god, active radars are cancer.
No, it's not you.
We don't
It's
talk
just
about
random.
that, but yeah, like something about lower end hardware and still being able to play the game. COD, I'm able to run 144, no sweat, even higher than that.
I know, right? Yeah,
I
same.
should not be able. Maybe because it's a smaller map, maybe because it's Unreal 4, but Unreal 4 has its
Maybe.
own CPU issues too. Every game coded in Unreal 4, PUBG, Squad, COD, I'm not sure if COD's using Unreal 4 actually. Someone correct me, but they've always had CPU threading issues that the developers have always had to optimize.
I see.
Yeah.
Do you think DICE should keep the current engine for future Battlefields, or do you think they'll need to update it at least?
Ooh, that's hard to say because
ditch it completely.
I mean, there's two facets to this. I'll play pro here. Pro is that you can still code new games on it, and that you can still optimize it. The con here, though, is that have you seen that one? I hate to quote Kotaku on this one because Kotaku's crap, but
Okay.
they had a expose on BioWare, and they
Mhm.
mentioned, and the developers of BioWare mentioned that Frostbite is extremely hard to work with. Because
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
yeah, it's extremely hard to code, extremely hard to correct. Essentially, one thing operates and the other thing breaks, and you fix the thing that breaks, another thing breaks. So that being said, like I think part of its death knell too was most likely what happened between the transition of BF4 and BF1 and BF5. If you notice, the CPU usage between BF4 and 1 went ever so slightly, but in BF5 it opened up wide. And you want to know
did.
why?
Why?
Two things. Whatever anti-cheat they were running in the background, which definitely saps CPU, and whatever
Okay.
photorealism thing they were using for their engine that made the game look prettier. You look at BF4 at max settings.
Wait, they were
and
using the photo engine in BF1.
Yeah, they were using the photorealism engine in BF1.
Yeah, yeah.
You could note. I
You
noticed
said
it
it got
immediately.
worse. It got worse in BF5. Is that what you're saying?
It got worse in BF5. It pulled more resources.
Gotcha.
There's something that happened there. Like something wasn't fairly. Something got coded, but it was never reassessed or revised, and it just slowly got worse.
Bring Punkbuster back? Dude, I don't know. Punkbuster had so many problems.
PB had issues, but I mean,
issues.
I can see where he's coming from. It's better to have an anti-cheat than none at all.
Yeah. And we covered that earlier on the show. Okay, last topic here. Mobile games.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding. You were talking about mobile games before we went live on the air. What the hell are you playing?
I was going to stream this while we were talking this, but I am playing Girls Frontline. I'm on screen share.
Wait,
Let's see.
what?
I am playing Girls Frontline. which is those of you who have played Conquer, I have no need to explain this to you. But essentially what it is it is a game of anthropomorphized, that's a tough word to really pronounce, girls who are guns. So yes, there's an M16. There is an M4A1. There's a FAMAS in there if you really wanted to. There's a JS9, a UMP45, all sorts of things. Oh, please tell me it's 60 hertz. Whoo, baby. Okay. Yeah, but essentially what you do is you make strike teams of 5, I guess, guns or T-dolls. And you essentially send them to battle. It's fun. I mean, I'm still kind of lagging behind. I got some stuff to finish. There's an event coming I need to grind. But it's kind of a strategy game. And it's sapping a lot of my time from desktop because, well, the game's fun. All right, here for example, I've got let's see. Let's bring up one of my best teams. I've got a Vector, I've got an RFB, I've got a UMP45 M4A1 and a G41. And this is my rifle squad. I've got the Grizzly Mark V, which fires 50 Action Express. I've got a Wellrod, the silence pistol, the Law 2000 from Hitman, the SVD, and a 5.7. And I have them running in a preset or two. And it's fun. Oh my god, it is fun.
I bet.
It's a little grindy. It's I can give you a quick simulation here.
I think I'm good.
But
I don't even know why I brought it up. God damn it, why
did you bring up that question, dude?
Because I wrote it down. You were talking about it. I thought it would be funny.
If you wanted me to explain mobile games as a whole, essentially it's this, right? These games are very, very MTX heavy. Certain games don't have to be.
Wait,
holy shit, this is extremely laggy. BlueStacks, what are you doing? But they're very MTX heavy, right? Oh no, I have no auto skills on.
Only on the Battlefield show.
I have no auto skills on, but that essentially this is what it is. It's just you killing things over and over and over again. But no, to go into things as a whole, with mobile games, they're definitely time vaults. You can sink a lot of time to this and not even touch your desktop at all. But beware, the game that you play, they might not be so forgiving on free-to-play players as they are on paid players. We call them whales.
Yes.
I'm a whale.
Okay.
I'm a whale in this game.
Okay. So what about did you try or did you hear about Modern Warfare?
Which one?
Modern Warfare mobile.
Oh, I heard about
the controversies and like the fake events, I guess, that they had, or the fixed
I didn't hear
events.
about that. I was almost considering downloading Modern Warfare mobile and then playing mouse and keyboard on it because the people who designed the app actually know whether or not you're playing on an emulator or not. They know you're playing on an emulator and mouse and keyboard. They will match you with mouse and keyboard players.
Oh my god.
That's how that's how much thought they put into this game.
Interesting. Okay. All right, Proto. Thank you so much for coming on the season finale of the Battlefield show. We covered a lot of topics.
Let's do this again sometime.
It was fun. We'll bring you back with a round table. We'll bring you back by yourself. We'll see. I'm not sure, but the Battlefield show will end for this season. We'll probably either sneak a show in if there's a pretty good guess I can land.
Ooh, what about that? I want to ask that question that I mentioned to you either.
Okay, go for it before I.
This is a quick question to the chat over here. See, the thing is, I have not been streaming as much as I should have, but it's mostly because I don't feel like streaming, or it's only when I feel like streaming. So if I were to keep on streaming Battlefield, or I were to keep on streaming a game, should I conform to a schedule, or should I just
always conform to a schedule for starting streaming? That's what I've been doing for the whole year.
I always depend on the catch me if you can kind of things, you know?
Yeah, it don't work. It really doesn't. It was like one of the, when you're starting a stream, like YouTube people's like, what do I need to do when I start a stream? Almost every single time, the number one thing is to get a schedule first, and then as you get that following, you really relax on that because people will just know you're always on. That's what really helps.
I guess that's one thing. It's the thing is though, for me, my schedule's all over the goddamn place every freaking week, so I never actually had one. I can't really take time out for it, so that's my main issue. But
Yeah.
Hey, you guys in the chat, if you guys are willing to watch me when I play,
Go check
always
out.
appreciate it.
Go check out ProtoApex. Follow him on Twitch. You got Twitter too, right?
That's the same.
Oh yeah, right. The
Oh.
Twitter. Okay, so you got a few
Getting
different
Twitch
Twitters.
suspended for not using the F word, weirdest thing I've ever been banned for. But I mean, Twitch's auto moderation thing. I was actually thinking about maybe appealing the suspension, but I'm too lazy about it.
You're talking about Twitter, yeah?
Yeah, for Twitter.
Okay.
I had 2 different accounts. I had the Weeb one and I had the Battlefield related one.
Gotcha.
And God, I don't know, man. It's a long story, but
which one are you banned from? The
Uh,
Weeb one?
It's the ProtoApex, Sim ProtoApex. The one that isn't banned is the one with only
What's the
consonants in its name.
What's the one?
PRTLPX.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That one is not banned. I just don't use it at all.
Oh, okay. No one. Okay, I've been tagging that one.
No, you should be. You should be tagging that one anyways.
Okay.
I honestly should be using that more.
Yeah, start using that more, dude. Yeah, for sure. That would be good for streaming as well. But go check them out, guys.
Personally, what I think is just like, there's not much time left for Battlefield 5, and there's not much time left for us old players, especially competitive players.
Yep.
So it's wow.
Super Beast, what's up, dude? Thank you for the raid.
I mean, all I can say is there's not much time left for any of us here, just with Battlefield and the way it's going.
It could be a pretty big hump that we're gonna have to get over with this new patch coming up. It's gonna be a struggle. That's what they choose to.
There's enough community backlash that the Desmond actually second guess doing it again. I mean, they're gonna go.
Wow, would you put your money down thinking they're not even gonna release it at all? Probably. Too much backlash already.
Hopefully they won't. I mean, you have people like Lassie. You have people like Lassie who was just like, this TTK update isn't really what you think.
That's why I brought KHT on, because of that video.
And KHT skewered him, of course.
Yeah, big time.
Like, he's trying to reword it in a way that angers less people.
Mm-hmm.
It's still it's same shit, different day. It's going to be the same thing. And until they ditch the damn thing, it's never going to be a good game.
Okay, so that's in December. Now, if that flops and fails and like people are just not having it, what other games are you going to go to at least?
Hard to say. I mean,
any single players are sparking your interest?
I got some stuff to finish. I got some Final Fantasies to finish. I got some campaigns to finish on games like called. Maybe I'll just focus on Destiny. The thing is,
the Weeb game.
I mean, here's one thing
Here's
the one thing I'll be incredibly transparent about. The one game that my viewership has always been there for me was Battlefield 4. Yeah. Battlefield 5, everyone went off to go do something else. So it's not like I have a game to fall back on that I'm going to get a dedicated amount of viewers. So I don't mind branching out to Girls Frontline again. I did stream some Girls Frontline. I streamed an event about half a year ago for Arctic Warfare. And I got some people, actually. That's not too bad. The thing about streaming any other game, streaming and playing another game, because I consider if I'm playing a video game, streaming, if it gets me some money, cool. That's why I don't conform to a schedule, right? Because my video game time is also my streaming time. But to go back on the point, it's hard for you to move on from a game that isn't Battlefield.
Yeah. Especially if you build your audience on it.
Exactly, which is what I mean. I built it around 4, but 4 was dying at that point. When 5 came out, everyone went to go play Apex or some other BR. I don't expect them to come back, and I'm not going to beg anyone to. So, that being said, Destiny, maybe Division. Division's kind of gotten stale, though.
Yeah, Division, I don't know.
Modern Warfare, I'm probably looking forward into doing it more. But it's just not Battlefield. It's really not. That's the one thing. No. That's the one that keeps me coming back to this franchise. It's just vehicles, planes, combined arms warfare, and leading your team of 31 low bobs to victory. Because that's the thing. It simply isn't like anything else.
Insurgency.
Insurgency is kind of in that weird military shooter niche that COD is trying to go toward, and Siege is trying to go toward. Like at one point, it just kind of just blends in. You know, we should start calling these games in a subgenre I guess, like tactical realism games, because Siege is getting awfully close to that with the time to kill, but not the gadgets. The gadgets are crazy. Insurgency is really close to that. Um, there's no competitive ladder for Vietnam, thank God. Modern Warfare can be, but there are just certain aspects that keep it out, like the camping issue and the shotgun issue.
I might go over to Modern Warfare if Battlefield 5 sinks to a new low. I might go over there for a little bit, even stream it. I mean,
I'm actually surprised you didn't go to Modern Warfare
at all.
You left Modern Warfare after a week, right?
Yeah, dude. No, I was donezo with that. That game pissed me the fuck off. No. The Ground War was such a letdown. I was like, dude, I am just not.
It's not about Ground War to me. It's about playing the other maps.
Right. You know, you're right. I enjoy it. The single player was fantastic in that game. Mm-hmm. And second of all, the 2v2 game mode is absolutely hysterically fun.
2v2 is probably the one game mode that COD actually got right. Because
it's
2v2
so much fun.
The 2v2 thing is in essence a LAN game. You can go to a college LAN and you can have a 2v2 ladder, you know, like a 2v2 tournament hosted by HyperX or some other gaming thing. Like that's a LAN party mode right there, and that's probably one of the funnest modes I've ever played because you don't have the capping issue.
All the advertisement, all the betas, everything was first. Let's try it with the 2v2. That's what they launched the game with, and it's overlooked. I think not a lot of people stream the 2v2, which is weird. I mean, I don't watch too many Call of Duty.
I should be streaming it more, honestly. No, it's a fun map. But you can get really pissed off real quickly too.
Oh yeah, well if you have shitty teammates, shitty randos.
No, it's just fun. It's just tilting. It tilts me sometimes. Like
it's competitive, hey.
Especially in bathrooms. It's really fun though, and like I said, it's one of the best modes they got right because it doesn't conform to any other game mode. You have to kill the person, and if you don't kill the person, you have to capture the flag. It's as simple as it gets.
Yeah, it gets tense too. But if you're playing with a good friend, those are the only pretty much 2 game modes. I enjoyed from
highly
there.
recommend it. It's
we might go back to that. We might go back to that.
Is there anything on the horizon that you're looking?
Well, I want.
Oh, there's Halo, dude. There's fucking Halo. God.
Wait, Halo is next month?
Yeah, Halo is December 3rd, I think. Reach.
Oh my god.
First week of December. Let's go, boys. I'm going to get my DMR. I'm going to go kill.
Let's go do that. I think I might go do that. If Battlefield's that bad, dude.
That's what I mean.
Think
like I said, if
GTA
5.2 actually drops, I'm going to go get Reach. I'm going to play my heart out of it. And we're going to start an MLG team, boys. Let's go.
I'm down. I'm down.
The funnest part for me about Halo was probably Slayer and Big Team Battle, because Big Team Battle is just chaos. I just sit in a Wraith tank and kill people. But I mean,
dude, they better have high FPS though. I don't want to be fucking 60 frames per second.
Well, here's the thing though about Reach. They said they would release it in April, right? And then and then it became Xbox One players are getting a beta test or some sort of closed test. We never got to touch it at all. The only time Halo Reach was ever mentioned on PC was the E3 demo, and not all of us have access to E3. Because we don't live in LA or we don't have press passes. Fortunately, I have one. I live in LA, but I mean, it was not. I had Anime Expo to go to, so.
I'm trying to wait. Public test for Halo Reach on PC. Pre-order coming soon. Master Chief Collection. I don't know when it comes out. December 3rd. Halo Reach is coming to PC on December 3rd. There you go. Via The Verge. So Microsoft
that's The Verge we're talking about, man. The Verge. Oh god, The Verge is a.
What?
It's almost like the Kotaku. They're both.
I guess.
They're both
looking for info
here.
I'm not judging. I'm just looking for a date here. But
hopefully they'll release in that time. I hope to God they release it, because if they don't, I want to be super annoyed.
It's gonna be on the Microsoft Store, just like, and on Steam, I believe.
Here's one of the main issues though that I find with it though. If you've noticed any of the games from the Microsoft Store, you can't really stream them in OBS. You have to stream them on Mixer. One thing I've noticed when I streamed Forza Horizon 4 was...
really? Because I was
Here, allow me
playing
to say
Outer
this, right?
Worlds. I was playing Outer Worlds and I streamed it fine.
I played Horizon 4 and it kept killing my game every time I streamed it on OBS, so I had to do it in window capture. I'm not too sure about Gears. I think Gears had a similar issue, but I think it got fixed. Never got fixed in Forza. Never got fixed in Forza.
Yeah, maybe it's just a game. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, hopefully December 3. I mean, we'll just go get it. Let's go get it. Let's go get some of the boys from the stream lounge to play it. We'll yell at each other because we'll probably die to a group plasma grenade, but no, because that can happen. But I'm looking forward to that more than I am looking for any other game because I don't know what other games do we really have to go on a more broad mini rant about it.
The single players.
To go on a more broad mini rant about it, we're in a point in the video game industry where there's so many new shooters, they aren't good. They're all They're all battle royales. They're all flavor of the month games.
Yep.
There's no good robust game that has staying power unless it's established titles like Siege or COD. But I mean, even COD, can you really call it good? And for Siege, Siege is already so divided. You have all the players who are just I can't play after this certain patch. Then you have all the competitive players who are just this patch is okay or it's good, or I can play after this patch. It's so segmented down the line. And Overwatch, they killed the mobility of all the characters. It's not as jumpy or fast as it used to be. So, if you're looking toward the future and you're finding for new games, it's kind of depressing.
I know, but this is not really multiplayer. I mean, I guess it could be in a sense, but the CD Projekt Red Cyberpunk. What do you think about that?
Oh, Cyberpunk, I'm looking for it. It's LA, dude. It's LA, it's 2077. It's going to be pretty. It's a great single player game. I think it's going to take its place up there next to Witcher and Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead as well. One of the striking examples of the RPG genre. And I'm waxing poetic about played it. I've seen that 40-minute demo, but that looks amazing. Honestly, as a company, CD Projekt Red can't do any wrong compared to most of the other game development companies you see today. They're just that good.
Jesus, look at these fucking collector's editions.
Jesus, I'm not.
Christ.
I say this, but don't fall for the pre-order, boys.
Yeah.
Unless they're actually showing promise. Oh no, water just fell on the floor. No, it hasn't fallen on my gear. I'm good.
Oh, good.
But
April. We gotta wait till April 16th for that.
Well, let's hope there aren't any delays for it too, either, because that's the scariest thing.
True. Okay, dude.
Death Stranding was actually good too.
You like that game? Really?
It's Kojima, dude. That gameplay is like a movie. Let's not sugarcoat it. It's a fetch quest. It's a giant fetch quest.
Yeah, a lot of walk-in simulator going on there. A lot of delivering one point A to point B.
It's the dialogue, it's the story. It's very Kojima-esque. If you've played any of his Metal Gear games, you would know.
I think it's Resident Sleeper. I agree with Slobs. I heard it's great to watch, but bad to play.
It is just running across the fucking continent. That is true.
And it's up for game of the year.
Oh, that's a hard one to say, dude. Kojima stuff is usually a gem, but it's really not. I don't know. What would your pick be for game of the year?
I think it should be either. Well, the ones I played should be Outer Worlds, which is on the list. Let me bring it up here. What was it? It's just called the Game Awards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nominees. So Outer Worlds made it on there. Here. Can I click this? Game of the year? Oh, look like this.
Oh, Death Stranding got into it. What the fuck is Control? Oh,
I don't know what Control is, but yeah, these are the games right here. Control, Death Stranding. That's it for the Game Awards.
Oh,
I'm like, dude, where is Borderlands 3 on this?
3 is good.
People have been loving that game.
3 is good, but it seems like a lot of hype and news died really quickly.
What the fuck, dude? Resident Evil 2 got on here before fucking Borderlands 3? Like, that's criminal.
Let's see. Let's go down the list real quick here on this one then. I would pick Sekiro because I like the Souls games.
Sekiro, yeah.
Astral Chain is really good for an action game. Fuck COD, dude. Throw COD on that thing. God, I hate that. COD does not belong there. Neither does Gears. Apex Legends is not. Fuck Apex, dude.
Okay.
I acknowledge it's a good game. I acknowledge it's a mechanically good game, but BR, dude. Bleh. If we're
Yeah.
going down action adventure, hey, action adventure, Borderlands is there. At least.
Yeah, there you go. Best action.
Borderlands, I can give it
adventure.
that. That's a good action adventure game. Art
Better
direction, Death Stranding.
Death Stranding might win the art direction.
Yeah, audio design. Why is Cloud on there? No. Why is
Modern
Cloud on the audio design?
Warfare's on there. I thought you said it's one of the worst. Where's the award-winning Battlefield 5? This
Yeah,
is
where's the award-winning audio Battlefield 5? What the fuck?
Outrageous.
This doesn't make any goddamn sense.
This is the Battlefield show. We should be mad at this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, where's the award-winning footsteps only work 50% of the time award-winning game Battlefield 5? Jesus, man. Oh, Destiny 2 definitely is going to win community support, man. Bungie split with Activision, they're good. Final Fantasy is continuing a pretty good streak, so that's kind of...
Where's JulianJanganoo, content creator of the year? What the fuck? Who the fuck is Shroud?
Remember me when you go famous, please.
YouTube, Mixer, God knows who the hell this guy is.
Ooh, actually.
And Dr. Lupo, who's pretty cool.
Serious thought here, actually. I was thinking about quitting the affiliates and then streaming on Mixer, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time.
Oh, yeah. You can do that, but
Like,
kiss your partnership stuff goodbye, because...
Fucking... I can't hit partner unless I stream every day and get 75 viewers anyways.
Yeah, well, I mean,
people,
even if you get that and they see that you've been,
I have people who still give me their
multi-streaming.
I have people who still give me their $250 from Amazon for my cup noodle fund. I don't know.
Do you care about anything about these esports things, sports stuff?
Not as much as I used to. I used to be super into League esports because I used to know some of the players myself. Actually, I had someone who graduated down here, not too far away from me. He was a top contender in the LCS. And they went by Flares. And then there was a time where I met Cloud9 High at a party, and I have his phone number still. I haven't talked to him for a while. Yeah, it's kind of little things you get to know. But I'm not really into the whole esports thing anymore.
Gotcha. Okay, there's a lot of like esports like hosts. That's kind of interesting. Esports players. Do you know any of these guys?
Who the hell are these?
I know this guy.
Oh, Faker. Hell yeah, I'll pick Faker any day.
Faker.
Simple is a good player. Simple's a great player. Simple and Faker are probably one of those two I'd pick there.
Okay. And they play League and CS:GO. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fortnite kids on there too. I remember that.
It's not any exaggeration when people say that Faker is the Michael Jordan of League, because he has such a long period of consistency and dominance. Even when he's not on the best team now, he's been that good. Oh wow, who are these guys? Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just kind of depressing to realize, just like the upcoming games aren't so. They're either promising something that's way too good to be true, or there are games that are just kind of like we're not reinventing the wheel. I mean, no, we're trying to reinvent the wheel, but
yes,
in a way that's just not appealing. Yeah.
And you got all the esports teams. And family games. Dude, Smash though might take a lot of awards this time around.
Smash is actually a good game.
Yep.
I mean, I hate to say it, it's a good competitive fighting game. You have all these people saying Smash isn't a competitive game. It is really a competitive game. When you hear people talking about like startup lag and input lag frames and things like that, yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, Nintendo's got the family game.
Oh, they got that shit on lockdown, man.
Lockdown.
That goes without saying. That goes without saying, man.
They're all Nintendo. Wait a second. Ring Fit Adventure is Nintendo's. Yeah, so they got it all.
I mean, think about it, right? In the last year, how many family games from Microsoft or Sony have you seen? Anything worth mentioning, right?
I don't know.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Battlefield needs to get on that list, dude. Family game. When's the next Battlefield family game?
Is that even the thing? Do you remember when BF4 won one of the Game Awards, though? They won a Game Award. BF4 won a Game Award thanks to Dice LA single-handedly saving them. It was a Game Award for, I think, like, best community effort or something like that. was it before Game Award?
We did like help make a map, which is pretty unprecedented. I heard at that time.
Oh, Outbreak was fine. Outbreak was actually one of our competitive maps. It played really well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it was very Bad Company 2-ish.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
Shoot.
Fighting games, indie games.
Let's see. EA Dice LA Award. That one. They won an award for single-handedly saving BF4. That's all I remember. Like they straight up deserved that award.
Mm-hmm.
Because after, like, we know right now the
Best
Dice LA,
audio, he said. Best audio. Told you so.
I mean, BF4 actually had good audio. That's honestly not hard to admit. They had good audio. Like, there was a point where you have to realize, like, the Dice LA of today is not the Dice LA of yesterday. Completely different people, completely different art direction. And allow me to tear them a new hole real quick. When you hire people who aren't based on how good their portfolio is, but rather based on quota, that's possibly the worst thing you could do to doom a game company. I don't care if you're a woman, I don't care if you're a man, I don't care whatever race you are. Stuff that fucking portfolio full. Tell me what good you've done, and tell me you can save this game. Don't go hiring this person just because you have to settle a quota. Because right now that's exactly what they're doing at DICE. I had some insider information that they hired this certain design director. I'm not going to reveal the gender. I'm not going to reveal the person. But that person is underqualified. That person is underqualified for the job. And if that's the person that's heading DICE for the next half decade, you are not going to see any good come out of this.
God damn it.
It's fucking Suits.
Just kill the Battlefield. Just kill Battlefield and someone pick this back up, please. Some other company. Someone buy DICE and put some talent in that goddamn thing.
See, it goes to one of two things, right? Either you separate the company by paying them money, or you have the community, or you have the company itself buy itself out and move to a separate, move as a separate entity. Like,
but we don't want that, right?
Hard to say in this one.
Hard to say
because as much crap as I give the DICE devs, it is almost always the Suits too. It's the Suits. You're not wrong when people are not wrong in chat and say it's the Suits dictating this too. The Suits want to see some sort of bottom line. They only care about bottom dollar. The devs have to open their butts up and get pummeled.
And you don't think there's some good talent? Like I don't think.
No, I understand there's talent. Like
yeah.
The Synthic guys alone who worked at DICE had talent. They were just constantly overshadowed and overvoted by people who thought they knew what they were doing.
I see.
That I understand. They actually had some pretty good ideas, always shot down by DICE. What's the reason? Casual players, bottom line.
Money.
We don't want this to do this. We don't want good players to,
dominate,
function properly. Yeah. I mean, it's not, and for that last point where we don't want good players to dominate, it's not like they've done anything anyways, because a good player can still dominate. You look at someone like Odyssey, right? Someone like Gen Odyssey, who plays this game like he's on crack. I swear to God.
Yes,
he jumps in. Dude, I was playing with him. I was playing against him with Boca. We lost that round. We had a 200 ticket round, but he was playing like it was his last day on Earth.
Oh, shit.
But
that's all he always plays, though.
It goes to show you like how much an impact one person can still have in the game. And I like that.
True.
That's the one thing I enjoyed about BF4. Going in as one person and turning the game around. I love stacking, but going in as one player and turning the game around. That's one of the funnest things about Battlefield. And if you want to handicap that very notion, then your game sucks.
I hope they don't.
Cross your fingers and knock on wood, bud.
All right, dude. Okay, season finale of the Battlefield show.
Happy holidays, everyone. Get your turkey, because I'm sure someone will be working on those days.
We'll try to make sure to go follow ProtoApex. Where can they find you again?
At PRTLPX.
Yes.
ProtoApex on Twitter. I have my YouTube, but really, come on, do I really upload anything? I'm not a YouTuber. On Twitch, it's ProtoApex_.
There you go.
Because I can't get my original one back because that was 6 years ago. But
damn it, one day, right?
I mean, when I get partner, I know when you get partner though, you have the option of changing.
Yeah.
So if I were to go part, but that's like years down the line because at the rate I stream, I'm not going to get it. Down the line, if I were to, I could change it. Yeah, I could definitely change it and remove the underscore from my name. I know that's that for sure.
Thank you so much, Proto, for being on the Battlefield show. Guys,
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine.
Thank you so much, dude. This is the season finale here. I won't be back. I might sneak in a show in mid-December. I'm not 100% sure, but what I am 100% sure about is in January we will return with some juicy guests. Trust me. And we'll probably bring in a round table as well. And we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You should call it the wartime jury.
Yeah. I made this decision because it was hard to actually get people onto the show because of the holiday schedules.
Mm-hmm.
And weekends just it weren't cutting out. I am booked for a few weeks on Saturdays. I can't book anything for Saturdays or Sundays. Anything on the weekends. Thursdays, this ain't happening. So we'll be back. We got 12 episodes in the season. That's pretty goddamn good. And I just started this off on a whim. So if you guys enjoyed
that sounds like your typical
shows,
reality TV season.
Yeah, I mean everybody's. I'm watching TV. I'm watching like some HBO programs, and they're going on vacation or on a break for a couple months. So it just kind of just makes sense overall. So 12 seasons. Is this an anime season? Yeah, pretty much.
Nah, anime seasons are like okay. So fun little thing about anime seasons, they're anywhere from 8 episodes to 12 episodes to 24 to 26. It's never a set number. I don't understand why. It is what it is, though.
Good tidbit. Okay, guys, stick around here. We're gonna go raid somebody. So yeah, appreciate it. Follow the channel if you guys
Until
enjoy.
next time.
Go check out ProtoApex. I'll see you guys soon. Okay, we'll be doing our regular streams, so tune in for that. Okay, guys, have a good night. Bye bye now. Bye bye.